thank you for your sacrifice. Noble being. Hello. Hi. Hi, welcome back. Hello, everybody. Hi, it's more D&D on this channel. Can you believe it? It's been a nice weekend. Actually, I guess only 2 of them were D&D, because the other one was Vampire, which was always delicious. But we are here now. This very chilly in a lot of places. Monday. Look, you can kind of... No, you can't. There's snow. There's snow back there. A little bit. Just a little bit. We're here for more Drums of the Empire. D&D. I am Slappy Meats. Only slightly chilled. And I am also playing Sildov, the Dampier Rogue. Just the most trustworthy and huggable, squeezable, lanky goth boy you'll ever encounter.
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm also joined, of course, by Lolaman.
Hello, everyone. It's Lolo, and I'm playing one who leans the cleric druid mushroom folk horse, and I'm ready to break some news to some people.
Some bad news. Huh?
Like a couple wild shapes from now, sure.
Yeah. Just like
You should feel,
horse puns are some of the easiest ones, and you just like miss the mark by the completely still.
look, you should feel sheepish about that joke.
There you go. Yeah. Moving right along.
Well, I am the
How
goat.
dare you?
Yeah. And just every other animal but the horse. We have Telnica.
Hello, I'm playing Philly, the half-elf paladin who's more than a little fey and who's going through some bad times right now.
That's true. That yes, the pun was appropriate considering the bovine nature of this tragedy that had recently befallen our sweet Felemy. We also have, moving along, Moonlight Kitsune.
Greetings all. I play Yozora, the team's warlock, scholar, and desperately trying to swallow their own pride at the moment.
Oh, yeah. And of course, our precious Bwanya boy, Bwanya Bee.
I am forever your Tabaxi Ranger Wither.
And helming this adventure, guiding this sweet, sensual party along their path, we have our wonderful, beneficent, kind and generous, handsome and clearly good-smelling DM, who would definitely do nothing but good and kindness to our party. Ironmog.
Hail, travelers. Welcome back once more. We find ourselves at the start of today's session, arriving back in the fishing village of Chinpo, arriving, I guess, properly within the fishing village. You've always been kind of in that area. But anyway, there was a short but a little tense walk through the forest, where I suppose perhaps Yozora at least might have been waiting at every step, every sound, every twig, leaf, branch that moved, made a noise, a little tense, waiting for some sprites to start some shit. But there was no shit started. Made it back to town unscathed, and we find ourselves here at the very northern end, where you had previously meandered through the trees to head along the river's path and eventually start your initial investigation. Now, a whole entire day has passed since.
Wait, I thought we had enough time to get through that and then get back to base safely and then start the war prep.
Negative, we're starting here in Chinpo.
I guess I should better question. You mean an entire day has passed since we talked to the Harpy? Finny?
No. An entire day has passed since you first talked to the individuals in Shinpo
Okay. Okay, that's what I was getting.
and began your investigation.
Yeah, that's what the crosswires were. Ignore me then.
As you all arrive in town, you hopefully have the wherewithal to notice that most of the individuals seem to be out and about and gathered along the banks and along the different piers and docks that are on this river. And they're all staring out into the greater expanse of the river, watching the water. We've got some news to deliver to these individuals. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we must return to Bannock 2 to prepare and make final arrangements to face the incoming wrath of the Empire. Luckily, our dealings with the individuals here were over fairly quickly, maybe taking at most an hour, maybe two so far. So there's still plenty of daylight left to get back to Bannock 2. Get some rest tonight and be ready tomorrow to start preparations and to face the Empire's incoming wrath. So, with that said, the stage set. Let's get started.
I forget.
One Helene's, of course, still a horse at the moment.
Nah, I'm gonna drop that when we arrive.
Absolutely. Okay, then.
Oh, they are not going to be
I mean,
happy with the fact we're not gonna
As much
get
as
a
it's
move.
as much as it sounds fun to negotiate by going, I don't think it's gonna work. Like counting with a
I don't think that probably wouldn't go over well.
Yeah, let's try not to pull any of shit here.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We can't make an ass of ourselves.
We've then arrived. Saldov, Yuzora, you've been introduced to these people before, haven't you?
Yep, and they're not going to be happy with the news we're bringing them. I'm fairly
Yes.
certain about that.
Well, we'll see. We'll let the expert negotiator put it as
in that
kindly
case,
and gently as possible.
in that case, would you mind handling introductions?
Of course. Friends, we have news. And some of our companions have joined us as well.
Huh? Well, you do seem to have a few extra people with you this time. Welcome to Chimpo. I'm Teodon Stormhorn. I am the, I guess, like a better term, the man in charge around here.
The patriarch, we might say. The big bull on campus.
No, I don't have any kids. I ain't no patriarch.
This one
Such a
greets you.
shame.
It is good to make your acquaintance.
Well, nice to meet you. This one, that's a
This-
unusual name, but it sounds real pretty.
Close enough. This is
Close.
one who leans.
Well, why the leaning?
I mean,
This
look
one's
at it.
body is simply shaped that way.
Oh, I don't mean no offense. Then I didn't know you was born different.
There is no offense taken. This
Well,
one
that's
would like
good.
to discuss. This one would like to discuss the situation with you. There has been a development.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I told these two, and he gestures at Yozora and Dove. I told them what been going on. Well, I mean, look, come here, look. I don't know if you guys I don't know what you've been up to, but look. And he points out to the river, and you can see that there are several boats there that you hadn't seen the last time you were here. Most of them covered in all sorts of, plant and other refuse that would have been along the bottom of the river, and they are very clearly still waterlogged, having just recently been risen from the bottom. Yeah, a whole bunch of the stuff we lost. It done just came right up. It was
Oh, good.
Yes. It is what this one wishes to discuss with you.
That'll make
The
things
one-
a little easier.
The one responsible for your woes has agreed to some terms. through which the recovery of those items was allowed.
Well,
Yes.
that's mighty kind of them. Much appreciated. We'll be able to get
More or
right back to
less.
fishing then. Start like tomorrow.
For a
Maybe even
time.
like,
That's a really
yeah, probably tomorrow.
You
For it-
probably shouldn't waste your time with that.
For a time. No. Get back to work, definitely.
You can indeed return to
Plans
fishing
will-
at the moment.
Will be tenuous in the future, but we have found out that the one responsible for this was a siren with plans and ambitions for dominion over this place. This one has struck an accord with them, and I'm sure they will be more than happy to discuss the terms of this agreement.
Indeed, this one will explain to you the offer in question.
Yeah, all right. First of all, do you prefer this or leans or well, what I call you?
One who leans is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, all right. One who leans, and he'll walk up and hold out a hand to shake yours.
I want to shake his hand.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Much obliged. You got some of our boats up off the bottom of the river. That's big. Kind of you. An ambitious iron. I mean, I guess that's all right. You probably we would make like build like a new house for them. I don't know whatever they want. What's going on?
Maybe withhold your inferences until the terms are made more clear.
The assessment is somewhat accurate. Building new houses is definitely going to come into purview.
In the meantime, this is, of course,
Yeah, all right.
our faithful friend, Wither, who was instrumental in safeguarding this deal, as I watched over as well. The taciturn one in the trees is Felamy.
Oh, holy shit! There's somebody back there. I saw like leaves blowing around. I saw like branches and whatnot.
She's right at
That
home
branches in the hair.
in nature.
Bellamy will
That
now-
is incredible.
Bellamy will walk forward and just give a short bow.
Wither will
Hey.
bow as well.
Yeah. Good to meet y'all. Thanks for helping out. Much appreciated. Now, I don't know what we could possibly provide immediately. We might be able to get you like some boats or something. Set you up. Maybe some experts on knowing how to like row and whatnot. We might even have some fish. We might be able to lend to you. Yeah. So, what do we got to get set up? What's the deal here? What are we getting going on? We're
This
ready to
one-
sign on.
This one will explain all. Is there perhaps a place in which you conduct official business that you wish us to go to?
He pauses for a moment, one like hand, like the thumb tucked into his belt, as the other hand strokes his chin in thought. Well, I ain't never been one to discuss business on an empty stomach. Let's head up. And he points over to this building here. Head up on over yonder, and I'm gonna get some fish stew. And any y'all hungry?
I'm sure I could eat.
My appetite has left me for now.
That's too bad. He'll clap Yuzora on the shoulder roughly.
I had been planning on
Ow.
a significant meal that has perhaps been subverted, so I could eat.
Well, yeah, but that's too bad, man. I hope you like fish stew. It's pretty good. It's like we got a lot of fish, so it better be good because that's about what we eat all the time. But yeah, anybody else?
It is perfectly acceptable to conduct this discussion over bouillabaisse.
Would anyone, would this be pertinent to anyone else? Would Ellie or Dab still like to join us?
No, they're more interested in getting a hold of them boats. You see, you got a few of the boys out there in the river, waiting out to them. They got Cogro over there. He's getting ready to row out to one of his old boats. Came back up.
All right, then.
Boys, right here.
There's a door on the north side. Or is that a window?
It is a window.
Past, I think that's.
I was
That
gonna
is a
go through the window.
So, Batman, Batshroom.
That would normally be more Zelda's MO.
Hey, you think?
He'll stop here at this barrel, open up the lid, grab a mug off of the bar here, dip it in, and take a nice long. Oh man, any of y'all need a drink either? You know, it's pretty good. I mean,
This
if
one
you're-
is all right.
Insight check.
I'm good.
Go ahead.
Is it good? I don't believe him.
Swill is a compliment to this.
Felony will take a moment to take a cup of it.
He will grab another mug, dip it in, scoop it out, and slide it over to Philemy. Man, there we go.
I guess he thinks it's good.
Here comes the
Even
constitution
his
checks.
like definition of good probably is like it's good because it's here and it's available.
So Felony will take a quick sip, and is it really that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Hmm.
Is it strong?
It's pretty strong.
Felony will give the cup a weird look, and then slam it back.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh.
You know, every once in a while, we
Oh,
bring one of the
there you
boats
go.
up and needs a good like cleaning on the hole on the underside. We'll use this stuff. It works pretty good too.
Oh my god.
Well then, Philony,
what's
where's your
the-
constitution check?
I'll take a flask from my jacket. It's full of pomegranate spirits, and I will just
That is much better, I assure you.
What is the
Cheers.
smell of it, honestly?
Alcohol. Like if you've ever smelled rubbing alcohol
Oh God,
God.
Jesus God.
or paint
yeah.
thinner.
So yeah, cheap vodka or Everclear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's not even ale. He's oh my God,
Yep.
Ugh,
this
Yeah.
guy.
I've had
He
stuff
just
like
kind
that in
of-
the past.
politely declines and just calls it good.
But he will, with this mug, he does like take a drink from it every once in a while, almost as if it were just like a casual beer, and he's just enjoying it. Yeah, all right. Now, who all wanted some of this fish stew? And he will pull out a stack of bowls and a large cauldron that he slops onto the table, and some of it spills out.
Was it even on a flame? Was it? Where was it?
It was under the counter.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good.
Suddenly, I'm glad that the users lost their appetite.
I'm set. I'm okay. We'll be
All right,
trying.
if you want some, just let me know. He
Okay.
will grab a bowl and he will serve himself a bowl, and he will have a drink and then take a large spoonful.
Oh my God.
Out of curiosity, what does it smell like?
Make me a perception check.
Stars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
think
worried.
it's gotta be-
I'm a little worried. Is this the kind of shit that they're gonna
18.
be supplying to our troops? Like, is this what they're gonna be offering? Oh no.
It smells fishy,
Like
overpoweringly so.
fucking mackerel slurry.
Basically.
He's
This
just
feels like
he's
the Waiting
making-
Tavern the Moon Tavern all over
he's
again.
just making fish sauce. He's got to let it ferment for a bit.
It is a little bit of some fermented.
That's an
Fish
ingredient, dude.
broth.
That's not a. Oh no,
Yozora's nose.
that's not an
just
entree.
Yozora's nose just wrinkles and like,
Oh,
oh.
main course. That's ooh.
At least
Upset.
it's not pickled herring.
No, I ran out of pickle herring. It's pretty good though.
Now, if you please, sir. Oh, this one apologizes. It has not caught your name.
Oh, sorry about that. 1 second.
My immersion.
Well, like I said, my name is Teodani Stormhorn.
Well, Mr. Stormhorn, The proposition I have managed to secure with the individual responsible for the troubles around this area is as such.
There it goes. Shh.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was
you mentioned that. Yeah, go on.
she was one going by the name Fenny Riverture, a siren, as it was established. She wished to secure an area for her followers, which are refugees of a Fey nature. The methods through which she began this endeavor were questionable, granted, and this one managed to reach an agreement upon which those methods were not to be employed. And I want to pull out my documented proposal.
For the record, the statement of the Fey refugees, Zora's eye just twitches.
That is what they are.
Yeah, true enough.
The proposal goes as follows. This is a document recognizing the establishment of a free Fey enclave upon this region. By signing this document, one would recognize the sovereignty of Fenny Riverture and our followers over the area 5 miles around the river shallows in which Lady Riverture resides. And I point to a joined map. This recognition would be agreed upon by the City of Dorset Council and further signatories. The area in question would remain neutral and independent ad infinitum, or upon signature of further legal documentation on the part of Lady Riverture or a representative of the Free Fae with sufficient authority and a representative of the Solstice Coalition. These newly defined borders, and I point at them, of the area shall not be tampered with or infringed upon by any not affiliated with the Free Fae, nor will the Free Fae seek to expand said boundaries pending further negotiations. In return, for the land and legalities granted to the Free Fae, they will, as you've seen, retract and restore the area to its original peaceful state, removing any untoward magical or practical effects in place in the area. Furthermore, assistance will be provided to the current occupant of the area for the purposes of relocation, maintenance of quality of life, and repairs to damaged homes and vessels.
As you've been talking more and more, you see his face doing like he's fully disassociating. He has not followed anything you've said.
Long story.
Anyone able to? Yeah. You in the back. Yeah, Zora. You able to translate that? Oh man.
Oh, it's
I'm
all
sorry.
right.
I'm completely like
Long
I do
story.
not follow past like
To simplify,
Yeah.
To simplify, Lady Riverture would like your settlement to move either here, and I point like 5 mile upriver, or here, or like downriver, or any other suitable fishing location outside of this area, and I point to the circle. And if you do decide to move, she will send help and for you to carry everything you need to, and to repair everything that needs repair.
Within the bounds of her established territory.
Hold on. I don't think like she knows like none of our buildings have like legs, right? Like they don't. That's not how they work. You know, they're built into the ground.
She doesn't care. If anybody is still here after a week, well, I don't think anybody's going to live.
The situation is as such. This agreement grants you a full week of continued fishing here in the meantime, and to relocate the settlement. You will be given assistance to do so, magically conjured creatures.
For the next week, all of the fuckery that has been happening will cease. The boats being brought up from the river are proof of that. The damages, barring lives lost, have been undone. For now. If it helps to make this more palatable, I personally consider this to be a temporary arrangement that could see some renegotiation in the future. But for now, please, play along. Remove this thorn from everybody's side so the Empire may be dealt with. And then, once again, your town can hopefully be secured in a more agreeable fashion to you and yours.
It must be said, it must be made explicit that this decision is not an ultimatum on our part. Should you refuse, while the hostilities of this Lady Riverture will most likely resume, you will not be held accountable by us, and we are likely to be amenable to provide assistance. However, this assistance would have to come after the securing of this area against the coming forces of the Empire.
He looks around at everyone with just this dumb, like he's still not getting it look on his face. I mean, I think I'm following, but you know, we live here, right?
Not for long.
You have a week, and then they will forcibly throw you out, and it will not be a fun experience if you survive.
I'll say, I will reiterate, they will. We will not. We're on your side here. But we have bigger fish to stew in the meantime.
Hold on, boy. Wait a minute. I think I get what you're putting down. Let me just make sure. We asked y'all take care of some problem for us. You found a source of problems, and now we gotta move.
No, not now. In a week.
Well, all right. So in a week's time, we gotta move.
Correct.
Possibly. Should things not
Um,
change in the future. We bought
This
you.
is how y'all normally operate. I mean, I ain't trying to sound ungrateful or nothing, but you know, we got them boats back and all. But I wouldn't exactly call this a rousing success.
Honestly, neither would I.
Do I look like I'm happy with this outcome?
Well, I mean,
But
you kind of always look like that, so I don't know.
I'm not the most thrilled with it either. A lick of fang is. I was hoping for something more comprehensive. But we have bought you time and reprieve from all the bullshittery that this Fanny Riverture has been leveraging on you. You use this time. You help us out a little with the upcoming conflict with whatever this, oh, please, something else, but some of your product would probably go a long way. And in the coming few days, I should hope we can revisit this. We can retable this discussion. It gets this siren out of your nets, out of your fish, out of your boats, and out of our hair. Until such a time as we can speak on it again.
This one will also encourage you to think about the possible positives that such an arrangement could offer.
You all right? I'm listening.
Hmm.
Should you decide to move, and the shallows where River Chewer lives, they're to the north of here.
Hmm.
Okay, so the closest relocation area would be like south along the river, if they want to continue fishing.
South and then east, yeah.
I
And that
personally,
is-
I'm gonna-
I
That
would
is
personally
also-
recommend closer to our settlement we're building.
I will highlight options.
Mhm.
If
It-
you do decide to move, then you would have shown this new neighbor your willingness to collaborate. And they have means to assist in matters of pisciculture, of fishing.
Uh-huh. All right. Give me a persuasion check. And you will have advantage on it since you've had assistance from people trying to weigh in.
Trying to smooth that stew. It's chunky though.
21.
It is quite
I
tricky.
don't think we have any. I don't think even the most powerful sorcerer can smooth that stew.
It's pretty gnarly.
Even heating it probably wouldn't do any good.
He sets his drink
Just
down
make it,
and pushes his bowl
just
away
make it angry.
as he holds onto the bar, just staring into the wood. You can almost hear the sound of his brain working.
So, how loud's the hamster wheel?
Very loud.
Like a coffee pot.
Must be a decent ticking, if anything.
He'll eventually take a deep breath and stand back up, still gripping onto the wood.
Oh, hi,
Yeah. Oh, all right.
hi, Mitch.
All right.
Hi.
All right. So, I heard a lot of the wisdom in what you done said, and look, I can't force no one, of course, to up and move and leave the area. So if they choose to stay, I can't do nothing about that. I can only encourage and try to help them see the positives and the potentials as you have laid them out. But I want to make one thing assuredly clear. The people of Shinpo will not be harmed so long as they gone at the end of this week. Correct? Am I understanding that properly?
Indeed.
That is the guarantee that has been given.
So people will be safe. They'll just just have to leave behind their homes and move.
It might be possible to bring with you a large portion of your possessions, and perhaps even homes, as magical assistance will be given.
Well, that is a bit might of comfort there, and certainly will help. Hopefully, soothe some things over. There are going to be a lot of people real upset about this. Oh boy, I tell you,
You know what they say about compromise. When it works well, nobody's happy.
boy, ain't that the truth? I ain't had a compromise like this before, and I sure as hell ain't happy about it. But
I assure you again, none of us are happy about this.
yeah. But I tell you what, I will. I do what I can. I'll explain some things to people and hopefully convince them that this is the way to remain safe and to avoid any of these any nasty unpleasantness we've had to experience for the last little spell there. Oh, But I'm afraid between that and all the preparations and all the work going to be needing to make, as well as obviously fixing these boats what have been returned. There ain't no way we can possibly spare anything for whatever you got coming up. Uh, we're gonna be too busy and too honed in on this. Now, of course, we ain't gonna like wish you no ills, and we're gonna support in spirit. We praying for you and all that, but we just ain't got it, and we ain't gonna get
Of
it.
course.
That's understandable.
Insight, please.
Go ahead. As far as he knows, he's being genuine, and
Okay.
he is distraught about the fact that he can't help.
Okay. And so it's not disappointment and passive spite.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it does not seem to be spite driven. He is thankful. The point that you get that he's the most thankful about is the fact that this will mean people will be safe.
Okay. And Dove, if there's anything Dove just loves, it's doing good for nothing.
There is one way in which you will be able to provide great assistance, even
Hey, what's
considering
that? What you got?
this
What's
move.
that?
The creatures, the people who are claiming this territory, believe that the only way to be safe and left to their own devices is to have the area to themselves with no one else in it. They do not, at the moment, believe that they can be friends with anyone. They are afraid. Making
Well,
this go smoothly would go a long way into showing them that perhaps there is a way forward in which this can be beneficial both ways.
yeah, they're scared. I had people up chucking living fish from inside themselves. Like, how you think they felt? I mean, granted, one of them was a little bit, touching the head. Thought it seemed to be like a fun trip, but what? It ain't no point being bitter about it. It is what it is, as they say. So, I suppose we'll get packing, and I'll provide them the questions, and we'll have a discussion. I think a little town hall or so later tonight. We'll get together. We'll discuss where we're going, when we're going, how we're going, and all the particular about that. But man, I never did expect to be run off by squatters, but here we are.
This one is familiar with those kinds of situations.
Well, I do
It
hope,
is
and I'm genuine about this. I do hope they don't have to experience the same thing. No one else, more cantankerous or angriest, come along and drive them out as well, because they'll probably just take our new home anyway. And, I don't want to move again.
this one can guarantee.
Yeah, so say, man, ain't this a hell of a thing? Well, I guess we got a lot of work to go, so y'all feel free to head on back where you came from, and good luck.
With pleasure. Enjoy your stew.
Yeah, I ain't too hungry no more.
Wither nods politely and walks out the door.
This one thanks you greatly. It takes a
Yeah.
lot to make that kind of gesture.
Yeah. I just want to make sure people's safe and nobody has to suffer or do anything untoward. And
In
I'd
this
like to
way,
say thank you to you as well, but you understand if I don't.
of course. Just know that in this way, you assist a lot more people than you think.
He makes a bit of a face, just strange face, and mm, mm, and just nod.
Give him a nod and make my way out.
Well, shall we get the fuck out of here?
Do you
This
think
one
that they'll
has
be
one
all
more
right?
matter to settle.
Can we please leave? I'm so tired of the bullshit.
You want more of that drink? You're gonna cost you. I'm afraid. It seems we gotta save up. Oh, all right.
Philomene will simply give about and snap out of it and just leave.
All right. What are you up to, you, Zora?
Gazora is just like halfway through there, just unwilling to take from their perspective, the utter bullshit that one who leans is spewing. The Fae afraid? No, they're not. Just, I won't say storms off, but definitely leaves a bit more aggressively than their normal collected self. Before they open their mouth and say something unpolite is the most polite way I've got to put that. Considering again how the situation is from them with everything they've gone through, and again learning the Phineas housing traitors to the Feywild, but is understanding much to their grand, well, honestly, anger that sometimes sacrifices have to be made for the good of the people. Doesn't stop Yozora from just muttering, "I should have just blasted her. No, I had to do. Look at the big picture. No, I've got to do the smart thing. Had to make it protect the people. Son of a... Yeah, type of reaction. Seeing everybody coming back out, Yuzora just takes a moment to take a deep breath, try and school their features a little bit. Because, yeah, they're very much not happy right now.
Wither decides to put his hand on Yozora's shoulder. We'll have our time for that. It may hurt now, but we'll get to what we need to.
Those who rule have to look out for their people and over their own self-interests.
Yozora,
What?
this one apologizes if the situation has made you uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable is not the word I'd use for it.
Understood. When it comes to diplomacy, the things that must be done are, in very few cases, the things one wants to do.
As I was just saying,
Hmm.
the only reason I didn't blast that bitch, that woman housing traitors to my people, is because a ruler has to do what's right by their people, not their own ego. While I may not be in a ruling capacity here, my lineage, my family does not mean anything out here. You, yours, the people of Bonnet 2 and the settlement we're building, for all intents and purposes, are my people. No matter how much my ego screamed, how much I wanted to, I have to do right by them. Otherwise, I'll just cast me out of my family now.
So, you've made some
It might-
decisions.
It might be of little comfort, but this one wishes you to know that it appreciates your decision greatly. You have this one's thanks.
Honestly, your thanks is honestly very unwelcome. I need, yeah,
Understood.
let's get out of here before I say or do something stupid. I've got vastly more deserving targets to turn my ire on. Ones I don't think anybody's going to complain about me blasting into dust.
We'll see.
I certainly wouldn't mind. But it sounds to me like you may have solidified some decisions of your own. That your lineage is still quite important to you. That it guides you. A thing to consider. How much it's influencing you.
All I can do right now is make the right decision best I can. It made no sense to invite another party to this war. Either to attack us from the side, behind, or just join the forces. Or attack my home and drag me away. Because I'd be obligated to respond to any attacks on my home.
Would we not have simply erased this Fanny River tour and deleted the problem?
Yes, her. What about the rest of the people? All we would have done
People.
is possibly made her a martyr. Something to rally behind. And turn the ire of these traitors.
Oh, your transient
on us.
fae. Yes, them.
Yes. I don't know what their numbers are. I don't know what fate we've rented the sprites, Venny, and specifically her 4 disciples. Who else is here? What else do they have?
You think it runs deeper than that?
I would not be surprised. Many, from what I know, many fae were displeased with the treaty, if you will. The Sealy Court made with the City of Doors.
I see.
Beyond that, Yozora just casts their gaze to where Finny is in, for lack of a better term, the heart of her quote-unquote territory. Without staying and exploring, I cannot give any information. Not accurately.
That sounds like something for perhaps another day. But if you want... it sounds like if we wanted to... minimize the pain they're causing to you and your court, then they should not have a beacon of hope at all. Then rather than martyr them, we undermine and corrupt this symbol. Food for thought. Something to chew on later. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yes, again, let's leave before I do something stupid.
What are you doing, Owl? You have some more business here? I thought we were more than done.
This one simply wishes to send a message before our departure.
All right. Have I gotten a raven back, or a silver crow back? I think I sent it yesterday. No. This morning?
Silver
That
Raven.
was
I
sent
sent it
this morning.
Shit. All right.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's gonna be some time.
How long does
Probably
it
has-
take
we
for them to
probably-
come back?
It depends on what they get that and what they want to reply with.
Because it's not too far.
As the crow flies,
As the crow flies, indeed. I just wanted to like tell River Chewer to send help tomorrow.
Oh.
Like not to do it today.
I thought they were gonna. I thought Fenny was gonna send it. God, I hate saying that. I thought Fenny was gonna say send them in a week when the time was up. So like, yeah, you keep keep doing whatever you want until you gotta move. Then I'll send help.
Fairly certain. While I think that's what we're going with. I think the original was that they had a week to get the fuck out.
I thought it was they had a week to do whatever they wanted. Then they got to get the fuck out.
No, from what I remember, I don't have any notes on
Oh, a
this.
week to get the fuck out, yes, but like at the end of the
Yeah.
week, then you gotta go. But you have a week to do whatever, to
Yeah,
include
They're still
prepare.
within the
Have to
territory within
be
7
out
days.
of the
At the end of the
area.
7 days, they're done.
I mean, whichever way that's phrased, I just don't want the magic help to arrive when not everybody's on the same page.
I didn't even think it was going to come that soon.
I never know. I guess we can abstain.
I
on
mean,
that.
above the
find out.
table, above the table, we have a copy of the contract, right?
Mhm.
So that would be listed in the contract.
Yeah, does it specify? Was it at any time specified when the help would arrive?
As soon as it is requested.
Requested. Okay. So then it's up to
There you
them.
go.
All right. I don't want to talk to Donnie again. So I wants to let him know, hey, when you need help getting the fuck out of your home, just go come crawling to the river god and ask for help.
There you go. Yeah. I'll take care of that later then. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, I'm out.
We'll once again head off into the trees, scouting for danger as we head off on our travels.
I'll go hop into the cart and just. No, I'll get out of the cart. I'll go in the trees. I'll keep the load light because we don't have 2 horses. And time is still a factor. We'd like to get back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna work out some of this pent up aggression in the trees. I'm gonna hunt while I'm in the trees. I'm gonna pluck birds out of nests.
Yes.
Pretend they're
Give in
pixies.
to your anger.
Okay, I guess we're heading towards Bonak 2 now.
The party's next stop is Bonak 2.
Yep.
You have, in fact, secured the aid from Yakutin and from Tumak. Chenpo, however, seems as if, at the moment, at least, is not going to be able to assist.
Yeah, they got their own shit to deal with.
Yozora is
What?
sitting at the back of the car watching as Chimpo vanishes into the
goodness.
distance, clutching at their magical focus, the gem around
Thank
their
you,
neck.
Nemo.
Just feeling the, for lack of a term, the hum of magic
That
as they
occurs to me.
mentally just try and reassure
I
that they're
should
doing the best they can.
Turn off sound effects during
Mhm.
D&D.
Occasionally, their hand will go down to the Radiant Historian's soul blade.
Mhm.
Thank you for reminding me.
Just like, okay, trying to reassure themselves,
But hi.
even though they're not asking for, guidance or anything like that. They're trying to, for lack of a better term, mentally just fortify themselves that they are doing the best they can.
We're on push to talk, so
It's not
I
working
can
too well, but they're trying.
I can talk to you,
And it
sweet
ends with me.
viewers, without interrupting the other party members. So hello.
Kid in the
Hi,
game.
Nemo. Hi.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
The party is able, now that they have
Hi, Oreo.
said their piece, done their due diligence, the party is absolutely able to make their way back to Bonak 2. The roads are a little bit more established. The wilderness a little bit even
Oh,
more
still
diminished
hungry.
as you get closer to Bonak 2. You arrive without incident, well, I suppose without further incident. The village is itself a little quiet. It's getting on towards evening. There's probably an hour or two of daylight left.
I do remember that Fey trail mix made me feel a lot more charming and confident. I do ever so hope that smoothed over the bad news.
And I do hope the smell from
Oh God!
Felony.
That's why you didn't mind the fish stew and the fucking booze.
For the record, the smell has been lingering. I've prestidigitationed it away.
The smell would have eventually dissipated. It wasn't going to
gee,
last very much longer.
Felony was standing in the river the whole time, so probably went away, washed in the water, and a few fish died downriver.
It's alright. I'm in the trees.
Yeah,
I'm
just
smelling it.
just making sure, because I forgot that part of it. But if the help would come once requested, I would definitely have mentioned that.
Absolutely, he got a look at the agreement when you showed it to him, so
Yeah.
he knows some of the particulars. It just, he's not super quick on the uptake. It took him a minute before he fully processed and understood what you were saying.
If I believed more in this agreement, I probably could have leveraged on him even harder. Been like, look, you could all just be dead.
Fair.
Like if we, you requested our help and we gave it, and that's why you're alive and you're able to walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to explain it to him in the clearest way I could, that he doesn't have to accept, and if he doesn't, we're probably gonna still help, but this is the peaceful way.
Yeah.
And that was the part that really got through to him, is that this keeps people safe.
Yeah, obviously Yozora is very much unhappy with this setup, but sacrifices have to be made, unfortunately.
Oh, I was upset to leave such a buffet behind.
And Yozora, this one, as what's the word?
Yeah, Yozora turns a withering eye on one who leans. Is very much not happy. They calm down, but they're still like, go ahead, what?
This one has opened this decision to the party. We'll always do so when a decision of this import rings itself forward. Now is the time to focus on what is to come. The time to ponder the decision was before it was made.
I've already decided I'm going to turn my aggression on those who nobody will complain about me hitting.
This one simply reminds you that you will always have a say.
I made my choice. I must live with it. I don't have to be happy with my choice, but as I've said, ruler must do what they can by the people, and not their own egos.
Indeed.
You and yours, let me rephrase that a moment. This party belongs to the settlement. While I may not be in charge, you are my people right now. I have to do right by you, and not my ego. Now, can we please table this? We have other things we must focus on.
Meanwhile,
Indeed.
I'm all ego.
Alright, onwards.
Guess Yozora just after that's like deep breath. Sweet gods above, I need a library in a week.
Where is everyone?
Oh.
I want to have hope and say they simply evacuated or they're eating.
Perhaps they await in the main building.
Perception check?
Same.
No
Same.
perception checks needed. As you look around, you can absolutely see, and especially you, Dove, with your passive, you can see there are a few of the houses around where there's smoke coming out of the chimneys. It seems like it's likely dinner time for most individuals, so everybody is either inside, or as possibly one who leans suggested, they could be within the large main building of the town.
I see some celestial dwarves guarding the door, so that's the thing.
Good
Oh,
sign.
I hadn't pinned the map far enough over, so oops.
Good sign. Aha, our squeaky clean friends have arrived.
Let's go greet them.
Ah, yes. I was wondering if they would make it in time.
Hail, this one greets you.
The celestial dwarven soldiers will clang their weapons upon their shield in greeting, giving you all a nod as you approach.
So,
Welcome, you have been expected. They are within. And they will even
And-
open the doors for you.
And
Thank
what
you for your
service.
vigilance.
And the Forge Master is in there?
Indeed, the Forge Master, Chief Malgrim, they have come as well, along with a few other attendants. They're holding a meeting inside.
Great. Didn't keep you waiting long, I hope.
No, we've simply been doing our duty. I don't know if anyone has particularly been waiting for you. You were expected, of course.
Good. Keep up the good work.
Greetings, everyone.
As you walk inside, it definitely seems that they are in the middle of a long discussion. And it is Pawnee who seems to be leaning forward intently and is staring at this individual and, of course, at Felgwin here. And I am ensuring you
Oh,
that that is the best tactical decision that can be made with the current information, supplies, and resources available to us. I don't know if I can possibly support this. It seems like encouraging us to simply give up and relocate. I can't believe you would ask us to leave our homes and move.
we wouldn't dream of it. Sorry. What is the current situation, everyone? Hello, hi, hello. We come bearing news of great success.
It seemed it. Oh! Ah! Our heroes have returned. Good to see you all once more. Hello, hello.
Greetings.
Flinch, because Yozora definitely doesn't feel like a hero right now.
How's it going, Timus? It's been a while.
Ah, yes. Master Withers, good to see you again. Feeling lucky at cards, are you?
Oh, trust me. I took it. Let's just say we took it easy on you last time.
I look forward to it, my friend. First. Yes, suppose you will excuse us, the chief in your good care. I have some individuals I need to speak to. He'll walk past and he'll tap the engineer who will follow along. Now, my friend, you had left instructions with us, I suppose. You wanted us to. He gestures with his hands, very openly. You wanted us to make something for you, correct?
That is correct. What did you come up with?
Well, that's just it. We've come up with a bunch of different things, but we want to know what it is you're looking to fully invest in. After all, you left no specific instructions, so we did a little bit of tinkering and tooling around, and we've come up with some interesting things we might be able to do for you. We could perhaps some sort of long-ranged type weapon. not unlike a bow, like that one you seem to have with you. It's a very fine, exquisite-looking bow, by the way. But one it wouldn't use a string. And it wouldn't be a crossbow either. And of course, we also had an idea for like I don't know how you feel about like a spear, and he makes a gesture like brandishing a spear. We wanted it to be unique, of course.
I like
So we had
spears.
some ideas with that. And if martial arms were not your thing, you were looking more for defenses. We had some ideas around that as well. So how might we be able to carry on for you, and what is it you're looking for specifically that we might finally invest our full attention and efforts into? Though we do plan
Mm.
to, of course, make all of them, we wanted to get the prototype done and into your hands as soon as possible.
Oh, spear boys are hot.
Wither looks at him and he's like, I do like it when people experiment. It is a very interesting thought. What is this ranged weapon you were speaking of?
Well, I don't know how quite to describe it to you. It's very much like a crossbow of sorts. Though of course it uses no draw, no crank, no bolt. It uses more energy projectiles.
So it would not need it, then there would be no need for arrows then, correct?
No. It would use a very special type of cartridge that we're developing that would suffuse itself with crystalline energy, like those crystals that you showed us. And we would, fill it with one of those. It would be able to draw on it until they'd been, I guess, drained of the ether, and then you would have to pull it out and replace it with another one.
Oh, stars. He's talking about a Star Wars blaster.
That is interesting.
So uncivilized.
The Witherbuster.
Or a withering buster.
But we did some experimentations with that. It looked like it was working quite well. Of course, we also had the spear. We had some ideas for that. Like it would return to your hands without your needing to go and pick it up if you were to throw it. It also has the same kind of matrix of energy, though you wouldn't need to replace the cartridge, as it was a slower burn, more of a sustained type of weapon.
Like this. I'll take out the short sword. I'll just grab it by the scabbard.
Gathos was just talking to us about it.
Something like this. Might be
I
worth
bet
something.
you and Gathos would enjoy tinkering around with some things and experimenting together.
I'm sure you have a
Just
lot
so,
to
we've
teach
been
him.
talking quite at length about it. He's quite an ingenious little human.
Mhm.
And these defenses that you were mentioning?
Yes. So it would be something quite very specific for you that would, absorb the impact of incoming weaponry, arrows, bolts, possibly even,
18
I
AC.
suppose
It's not
depending on
bad.
how much of a glancing blow or a direct hit it was, something from like a catapult or a ballista, you might be able to take a shot or two from those, not feel more than
Jesus.
a slight bruise. Other than that, we had also a imagine like a giant turtle shell that you could put over yourself and in some companions, something like that would completely block incoming attacks, but only for a short time.
I think you might want to speak to Felomir about that.
No, yes, we have something for Felomir as well. I do hope that she likes it. We cooked it up very special for her. Her and her delightful companion. Boan.
We might want to downplay that particular project. Let's move along. Work with
Yeah, right.
focus on
Of course.
relocate
We'll get to that.
resources.
I have something else that we might need to look, and he looks to the haversack, and pulls out the threads that we got. Would you be able to infuse this into armor and such?
Yes, it looks like it's quite unique you have here. It looks like strands of living wind ether. That's quite impressive. Yes. Yes, it could be worked into an armor, I suppose, or yeah, actually quite easily.
Mhm. We're about to have the highest AC in the party.
Those would definitely be favorable developments. This one wishes you luck in your endeavors.
Mhm. I would be interested in, honestly, I have acquired some very interesting things on my path here. But I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of thinking. There's all three options sound so nice. Above table, by the way. But he wouldn't. But like I said, above table, he wouldn't be able to do all three of these options.
Do take your time to think about it. Perhaps there are more pressing matters at hand.
We can discuss this after the meeting is adjourned. Uh, uh, Timus, I believe you have to have Phalomir to talk to as well.
Yeah, yes, I was hoping to speak to her as well, but yes, please let us know what you'd be interested in. We won't have it by tomorrow,
Oh.
unfortunately. It'll be after we get back. We expect it to be a couple of days at most.
Oh, you want to keep that? You want to keep that?
Well, for now, maybe.
Shit.
And he pulls off his armor for the moment. If you could possibly fuse those threads to my current armor, that would be enough for now.
Yeah, we could, I suppose. I mean, you'd want me to take this with us? We won't be back for a few days.
Oh, it won't. It'll take a little longer than that.
They won't be back. They'll be
Yeah,
gone.
the thing you just said.
Oh,
You can do the thread yourself.
Oh,
I think anybody in the party could, logically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing you could do yourself.
So
it
tonight,
just takes a long rest, and you have to spend some time on that long rest doing so.
Oh.
Yeah, you can just do that tonight.
I didn't realize that that I could do it myself. Very well.
Don't give up on your armor for the battle.
Yeah. Never mind. He starts putting his armor back on.
Right. Yeah. Here. Well, you hold on to it then. But yeah. So you let us know which of those sounds good.
Yep. I'll let you know before the end of the day.
In the meantime, my assistant here, she's going to be taking some measurements just in case.
Fair enough.
I just felt in the back of my mind Pawnee's shoe stepping.
Just the bounce is just getting more profound. Just
yeah.
Philomir, it's good to meet you again. It's good to see you. How fare you?
Philomir will give a quick bow.
Oh, quite formal, huh? No need for all of that, of course. I'm just a forge master. I'm not the king. But yes, you expressed some interest last time we met. You wanted some armaments, some armor, some way to protect your companion there. And so we've come up with a few things, and I wanted to run them by you and see what you thought, see how you felt about them.
Yozora will interrupt, given Philthamy's for lack of a term, vow of silence. Unfortunately, Forge Master, those armaments aren't going to be much use where Bohan is now.
That's so much better. It could have been so much better.
Yozora is trying to be tactful here.
Oh, is he?
Well, where's Bohan then?
Right, forgot. This group's about as blunt and as a bag of hammers.
We'll just say that our priorities have shifted somewhat, and this will no longer be a project that will be requiring any attention.
Bellamy will simply pull out the little bone fruit, I believe it was, and show it to the Forge Master.
Whoa! Well, that's quite gorgeous. Look at that. It was just like your friend there, Bohan. Oh, good heavens! Have they been turned into a plant? Oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
Close enough.
We'll go with something similar. Yeah.
In time, I suppose.
If you'd be so inclined, Philemy, if I might take a look at that. And he will hold his hand out.
Bellamy will hesitate for a moment, as if she doesn't want to be parted with it. But she will put it very carefully in its hand, never stopping to look at it. But she won't stop looking at it.
He'll pull it real close. He's giving it like this deep, scrutinizing look. He's like turning it over with his hands. You see him. He sniffs these. Gives it a little bit of a lick.
Oh boy, Bellamy almost. The second he gets it near his mouth, Bellamy very visibly has to hold herself back from snatching it right back.
After tasting it as he does, he jerks back and like stares at it, and then gives Yozora first a look, and then Dove a look, then looks at Philemy, and he holds it up and hands it back to her, and you see him now handling it with a deep reverence to it.
Bellamy will just grab it right back and put it back under her cloak.
By the forge, you damn young fools! You could have simply said that the poor thing had passed away in some sort. You can just sense it. The lingering energy of the presence, the spirit, is still within the area. You just have to feel it, can't you?
I mean, obviously. I thought it wasn't worth mentioning. It just goes without saying.
I was trying to be tactful.
Foolish young people. What is there tactful about avoiding the facts of reality? It is not impolite, it is not rude to simply acknowledge that one of our beloved has passed from this strange presence that we all have. This mortal coil has moved on to a different state of life. Just because their form is gone does not mean that they are without. No.
Just big nods from one who leans.
No. And he will reach a hand out and gently place it upon Philemy's arm.
This guy.
Does she pull away or anything?
No, but you
I
can see that
this. It's a
as she
weapon.
puts his arm, you can at least feel that she's shaking.
It's
ever
really
so
powerful.
slightly, most likely hidden by the cloak, and that she's very visibly trying not to break into tears.
He nods understandingly, and both his hands reach out to take her hand in his. There, please. Be not ashamed of how you feel. Do not hide away from it. Embrace it. Let it pass through you, as water must pass through the valleys in the rivers to the ocean, where it joins once more to a greater more powerful entity of all of that it is. But that does not change what the river is. It simply is part of it. You, Philemy, you have suffered greatly. But it is possible to still honor the life and the memory of your dear friend. I came here because we had come up with a brilliant suit of cascading celestian steel and crystalline armor that we were going to impart upon you to give to your friend. It would have protected them and would have granted them a little bit more oomph. Yes, a little bit more oomph in battle. For even we could tell that she was deeply devoted and quite fond of you. You were as much her best friend as she was yours.
I'd like to point out that as he speaks, Philmy seems to be hearing the sadness of what he says. Because she's still standing there, still making an effort of trying to look like she's listening. But the words sort of just anyone who's used enough to seeing people, to understanding people, would see that she's only half hearing what he says.
Oh yeah, I think I pick up on that right away because
Oh yeah, Dove, yeah,
he's-
you absolutely would.
I can tell at a glance that he's lecturing somebody who's currently going through it. He's preaching to somebody who's in the process of grieving, and it's just it feels like he's being really overbearing. So like Dove is kind of watching you check out.
Now, my dear friend, you I know are still adrift. The ocean is quite vast. But I believe wholeheartedly you will not
Smirking.
drown. Not this time, at least.
Oh,
Take your time, preserve your strength, and you will learn to swim once more. In the meantime, should you be... should you allow it, we would sing in her honor.
no.
Just to be sure, what was the last thing you said? I didn't quite get some of the last words.
He's asking if they can sing in honor of Boan.
No.
She's going to sort of give him a nod, but like a nod that says yes, that she'd like that, but she will not be able to listen to it. Like I don't know how to put it to something that is not words. She'll basically give a nod, but like a sort of nod that it's only half-hearted. That's the best way I can describe it.
Kind of like a do what you want, kind of like a little shrug and a head roll. Like
Not
do whatever you
quite
want.
that. More like sort of close to that, but not quite like that. Like a nod that's like a nod that lacks
Enthusiasm.
conviction to it.
like you appreciate it, kind of, but it's not necessary almost.
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to translate
Kind
something.
of like this soft, like, just like that movement.
Yeah, it's like not a dismissive nod, more like a half-hearted nod, like that lacks conviction. That's about the best way I can describe it,
Yeah.
without
I'll do.
actually talking. That's the whole thing. It's trying to convey emotions without talking.
God damn, is a camera helpful for that?
He will
mean-
nod in response, as if fully grasping your understanding, and will give you once more a squeeze. Then we shall. She was deserving of the honor. Lean on your family when you need them. They will ever be here for you. As he goes to let Philome's hand go, he pauses, just lingering a moment, and then looks up at her. Did you perhaps have a favorite color? Or precious gem?
Oh boy. Did you ever say what the color of the fruit was?
Did not? I left that open to you.
What is your favorite color?
Okay, I'm going to assume that the fruit is the same color that Lauren's fur was. So she'll again
Okay.
take out the fruit and show.
Exactly. Very well. Thank you.
Like a
My condolences
kiwi
for your
skin.
loss, my friend.
Like beige.
Or a
Well,
pineapple.
more like a brown.
A kiwi skin or a pineapple. Rind.
He will let go of Philome's hand, and all the dwarves will bow in reverence.
Nice sync.
That's the point where Philome will just sort of drift out of the house.
What?
As she floats by, Dove will
Well, not floating, like just slow walk, like lost in her own, lost in her own thoughts.
Dove will tap her on the shoulder. Make your way back in soon. You're going to need to be here for this. War is coming. Take a moment, but get it together.
She's going to take a moment to take all the conversation that's all going on. Does she look like she'll be needed for a conversation going on right here, right now?
It is entirely possible. There are maps, and they look as if they were discussing the coming battle.
Take a breather, but we'll need you present.
Then she's going to just stop there, lean against the pillar, bring out a bottle of whatever she might have that she can drink that it's alcoholic.
Offer you. Take a swig and offer you some pomegranate spirit.
She'll smell it. Does it look like it's strong?
It is strong, you wouldn't know it.
She'll take a swig.
It's strong, but it's sweet and dark. It's like a fortified
Like
port.
Spicy.
It's
Spicy
just it's
grenade.
Dove in a bottle.
Spicy grenadine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
I
pretty
like
good
that.
explanation.
I
yeah.
like that.
The way you said it, all I could think of was the woods are sweet, dark, and deep. You know the whole poem.
Yeah. And a little horny. Little.
Okay. Well, as
She'll
this
take
is
a
going
swig,
on,
but
there's
she won't drink too much because she doesn't want to literally empty all your reserve, and she'll go back to drinking from one of her own bottles.
Whereas with that, hopefully, it's like, okay, Zora's going to turn their attention to the table and the diplomats and what was going on. I believe we came in at as you were discussing something. What exactly is going on?
yes, please do pursue. This one would be informed.
Gail stands up
That way?
from the bench she'd been
way.
previously lounging upon, turns and gives one who leans a smile. In a moment. First, how fares your excursions? Did anyone sign on? Do we have anything to report?
There have been developments. We have assisted in the areas we could. In the short time we had to do so. The villages of
First, the bad news.
Yakuten.
Chinpo is assisted for the time being, but will not be able to contribute much further for the time being.
Indeed. But the villages of Yakuten and Tunuk will be
Tumac.
able Tumac will be able to provide further supplies.
She looks over her shoulder at Pawnee, who nods. So that is extra lumber and extra grain at the very least.
Indeed.
Will allow us to build a bit more as far as reinforcements and barricades. We'll be a little bit better fed, have a little bit more hearty, I suppose, gait to us. And depending on the lumber, we might even be able to fletch some better arrows for our ranged individuals. Good. This is good.
This one will also say that it appears the Empire was engaging in spot disruptions throughout the territory. This is why we've been encountering difficulties at each of those villages that we've been able to deal with.
Yes.
Gale and Pawnee again exchange a look. Pawnee nods.
They've been seeming to be dealing with creatures of many different stripes. The Wind Oni at Yakuten, and this Siren intermingling with Fae, Rogue Fae, in Chinpo. There is, look at the present company. Choose his words carefully. The Empire is in deep darkness, and may be affiliated with certain known and familiar parties to us. They are a force to be reckoned with, and we are likely to be facing one of their number shortly.
Pawnee seems surprised by some of this information. Though, Dove, you are possibly the only one in the party to catch her surprise, as it's only in the slight curling of one brow. The rest of her face doesn't change. Interesting. If you do want to try and catch that, make an insight check.
One insight check.
I have better passive insight than Seldov.
He's got bonuses from his subclass.
Fair enough.
Yep, I'm not getting anything.
I guess me neither.
Oh,
Shit.
no.
That is a hell of a bonus.
Willoughby will just do a sipping check.
It's
Wither's
successful.
too distracted by the seamstress.
How dare you, sir?
Cup shift. Cup shift. Cup shift. Cup shift. Are you done? How many inseams do you need?
Truth be told, it is a fairly sound and
Oh.
quite well practiced tactic. Very much a divide and conquer. Sow enough chaos, keep enough people distracted, you can come in and sweep away any resistance one at a time as you so choose, at your own leisure. It's brilliant, predictable, and honestly, I'm somewhat disappointed in myself for not anticipating that they might have done exactly this. It seems this invasion of the Free Territories has been in the works for some time.
Our presence here seems to have accelerated
Making-
it at the least.
Making our arrival, to the very least, fortuitous.
And I do like the fact that our presence alone has been enough to put them off their guard, make them a little bit desperate, panicked. That means that they were not yet in a position where they felt guaranteed success and are now desperate. We could use that.
Yes, their feeling threatened does seem to suggest that they are after something. And we'll keep that information very close to the chest. And suss out the current company. Do we recognize this other individual, Furu? Do we recognize this individual behind the desk?
They are wearing similar garments, though a little bit more.
So we never. I remember seeing her. I think in the village. We just never talked to her.
Yeah, I saw her icon, but she never came up. Yeah.
Wasn't she one of the ones that we saved?
No, we saved the dancer.
Yeah.
That was my
So
mistake.
They
I thought
are similar garments to the dancer you saved, though easily recognized as likely being of a higher station and authority.
Oh.
Okay. Good.
Right, he will say our presence being such a threat to them seems to suggest that perhaps they had plans in the as you say, they had plans in the works already. And perhaps we're after a more discreet target of some kind, and felt they had to accelerate their plans lest we disrupt them. Finding out what
It
those
does
are.
seem that our
be helpful.
presence might have indicated to them that they were losing grasp on long-standing plans.
Again, good. I like that. Desperation, panic
Hey.
could play into our hand.
No.
As we are sorely outgunned and even more so outnumbered.
Yeah.
Yozora's going to turn their attention to Felgwyn. You were saying something when we came in. What was it you were talking about?
Ah, yes. Pawnee has a plan, as you might expect. She does want to engage this group somewhat to the northeast of here. But she wants to, as a precautionary measure, so she says, and he gives Pawnee a bit of a withering look. Precautionary measure, she wishes to evacuate the village and have us move behind the walls, well, what are currently standing, of the settlement they are building.
Problem?
in the long run, I suppose it makes good sense. It would protect the individuals here, keep them out of harm's way, and keep them out from underfoot of the soldiers. But, as I was saying, it feels like giving up without even trying.
Yuzor's gonna walk up. It may seem like you're giving up, but think about it. What is best for your people? We are going to do our best. We're going to be out there fighting with everything we've got.
Have you ever had
Felwyn,
an infestation of rodents or termites? In
Felgwin makes a bit of a face and sighs.
in in dealing with this, all you need to do is get out of the house for a few days to
Yes,
breathe
yes.
in a little poison, clear it out, and make it clean for you once again. This is nothing but an inconvenience.
As I was getting ready to say, it does make tactical sense, and it is a good idea as it will keep innocence from further unavoidable harm otherwise. So,
yes, Felwyn, do take into consideration the following. Taking precautions is the exact opposite to giving up.
yes,
I'm
I'm
almost
not
insulted.
happy with it, I suppose, is all it comes down to. But in the grand scheme of things, my feelings matter very little when there are lives at risk.
Indeed. And
Rulers and those in charge must put their people first. Their
And-
egos and other issues second.
And this one does not believe Pawnee is suggesting that those who wish to defend their homes do not do so, simply to protect those who cannot.
and if you do wish to feel somewhat better about actively not giving up, well, I'm sure we have a few more spears to go around. You can join us on the battleground if you like. We will be working quite hard. I assure you, we do not give up. Not so easily.
I'd do more harm than good with one of those in my hand. I'm far past my prime and have long since been more of a detriment on a battlefield.
Oh, come now.
Furu, however.
You don't look a day over 60.
You're quite kind. But yes, I do believe in the morning we should plan to evacuate those who don't wish to fight or who can't, including the young children and the more elderly, such as myself.
Indeed.
Furu here is the head of our dance studio in town, and as such has ever been the one who is in charge of the defenses of Monarch II and in keeping the peace. I do believe that she and her protege, they will both be remaining here within the bounds of the town to ensure that every inch the army takes, should they reach it, is paid for threefold. The dwarves here were, I believe, waiting to meet with all of you. And of course, they had a bit to weigh in as far as potential defenses that they might add and how deployments might go as far as our forces. Gale, as well, I believe, was here simply to see all of you, get a first-hand report of what you've been up to. But for the rest of us, it's been planning. And now we know and can see what we've got on our side, and early scouting reports have given us what we're up against.
This one would hear it.
Pawnee nods, turns and gestures to Furu, who will unfurl a map and will wheel out a blackboard that they have been writing and like drawing things on.
Yozora is going to move closer to be able to actually see this.
By all means.
I would hope by now the engineer is finished and Wither kind of walks up to it as well to get a better look as well.
Yeah, if you want to get a better look, you absolutely may. Gale will once more sit down. Early scouting indicates that what we're up against is a full regiment dispatched from the former Crimson Stronghold that it seems the Empire now currently is holding as their own. A footstep in the door that is the Free Territories. Units of, it seems, a mixture of highly trained infantrymen, ranged archers, siege breakers. They seem to be heavily armed and in possession of powerful explosives that I believe they intend to use to break through defenses if need be. Additionally, they seem to be light on, and she gestures towards Yozora, on magic support, but they are not without it. And they are headed by a single regiment commander, though each of the units, they seem to move in units of 10, with the, of course, leader of that unit being their 11th. It seems that they are already anticipating a skirmish of some sorts. They have begun to break up into units and move individually throughout the day, as if expecting at any moment to be waylaid and have to fight. I intend to give them the fight that they are now currently expecting, though I am curious to know how it is they might have come up across the information that there may be opposition waiting. That will have to, unfortunately, come afterwards, as we are currently strapped for time.
Just above the table, last time we were in town, didn't we establish that there was more than likely a traitor amongst our people?
It was suggested. Nothing has been said for sure, of course.
I remember that because it's like that's how Yozora's ability to detect lies was brought up.
A map of the planned engagement zone is set and hangs from the blackboard for you all to see. Our forces will arrive from here, going along this part of the road in the southwest corner. We expect to engage the Imperial forces somewhere in the middle, as they will likely be arriving some along the road, but most of them in the wilderness, trying to keep their numbers more obfuscated.
I'm gonna begin scribbling something.
With the supplies that we are now going to be in possession from Yakutin, we can build some barricades and force some spots to be harder for them to progress through. You see, the road itself already has some measure of fence along it that, while not impenetrable, would at least offer some guide as far as where they could and could not step.
I'm gonna draw close to Pawnee as she speaks, gesture to her to keep going, and hand her a handwritten message.
She will take the note for a moment, not reading it at first, but continuing on. Now, if any of you have suggestions or, I suppose, requests on where we might build some of these barricades before the skirmish begins, please let your voice be heard.
Now, Yozora is looking at the map and it's like, if possible, we should be probably try and funnel them to the best of our ability to this central clearing here. Where's my X? There we go.
Okay.
Giving us we can stay with our cover from the trees and whatnot over in this general area, besides our frontline fighters, gesturing in general direction of like Phil's and me and Wither. Because that would give us words. Sorry. Long day. So we want to try and minimize their chances of ambushing us from behind. So I would suggest we probably want to try and get some barricades, say, over here. Make it so they have less places to hide and ambush us from. Yozora looks at the rest of the party, is like, wondering if they're making sense, and like, or if anybody else wants to chime in.
Pawnee looks at the note quickly, tucks it away, and simply nods. Yes, please, if any of you have some input you want to add to this, do so.
Are there any structures like this rock demarcated right here that are sturdy enough to resist siege weaponry and could provide cover?
Which one? Any more like that? Yes. Pawnee will step closer to the board, pulling out like a little pointer that she can tap. Yes, there are a few. This here, this formation here, and of course, far across the map, there's this here, and there are fairly large boulders in this area that we can at least be sure would not be immediately easily moved and could be used as natural barricades that we can either hide behind and duck out and fight from, or perhaps if need be, integrated into a further barricade to funnel them somewhere specifically. I do agree, Yozora is correct. We should look to engage, for the most part, in this large clearing here, just north of this bit of the fence.
There might be merit to dissimulating our forces somewhat before the engagement proceeds. This one is capable of creating an area of fog on the battlefield.
One corner of Pawnee's mouth draws up in a bit of a grin as she nods towards One Hulin. Indeed, I like that. We shall endeavor to use magic to our greatest ability, as it seems that we're, at least in this engagement, the ones who've brought the bigger magical guns to the fight.
Hearing that, Yozora's going to pipe up. Do we have any oil that we can use, like a surplus? Oils, grease spells, or spells that create. Let me pull up. Not sure if I would know grease. Spells that would create something like that.
Yeah, you know
Anything?
the grease spell. Okay.
Like the oils,
or
like
at least know of it.
Yeah, I know I don't know it, but still.
Yeah.
Back on track. How much oil do we have, or people who can cast the spell grease?
Pawnee shakes her head sadly, and she gives you a understanding and knowing look. I do like where your head is at, but unfortunately, we do not have with us an overabundance of said magic or supply. We have sent word to the city asking for resupply, reinforcement, even extra forces if they can spare them. But the Senate is mired in. She sighs and shakes her head. They're having to answer for what they have done, which is go against the city lord's word, go around the arcs. This entire endeavor, honestly, is what the arcs were originally made for. They should have been the ones to breach the door, get a feel for the world, report back, and then, had we been following proper protocol, then the decision would have been made to reach out, build a stronghold, or leave the world to its wills. Unfortunately, we have not had the luxury of proper protocol. Not since the City Lord has gone missing. Not since the current leadership of the Arcs was called into question and had to answer the inquiries of the Senate. Not since the current president of the Senate has made a bit of a power play. There has been perhaps an overreach that some of us more senior members should have pushed back against harder. But these are the regrets of hindsight. And instead, we will further with what we have. So we cannot expect resupply or reinforcement from the city, not anytime soon.
Curious. I would surmise that signs indicated that they had their chance long ago.
Wither goes ahead and turns back to the board, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Would there be a spot to where we could have a small scout, a semi-small scout team, or a possible stealth team that could make it around this engagement area, and possibly catch them unaware, at least to the side, one of the sides, maybe over here." Or over here?
That is entirely possible. The southern section, you can see there, is a little bit more overgrown with trees the further south you go, so it would be possible to sneak along that edge and possibly come out around the tree cover here to attempt to flank them, I suppose. Though you would be outside the bounds of the fight for at least a little bit. But it could be something worth investigating for sure. After all, you'd have even this rock formation here that you could set up as cover to mask your arrival. We could set barricades in that area as well. Perhaps they would ignore that area entirely, should we do so. Thinking it too much trouble to investigate and wanting to use the road and the ease of conveyance it offers, as well as the open wilderness and the ability it grants to hide and confuse as far as their numbers are.
How much do we have available as far as barricades go? Materials. And alternative forms of barricading. Area denial.
Indeed. The further supplies of lumber from Yakuten should help with this.
We had been thinking that we might be able to put up 1, maybe 2 barricades at best. With the supplies from Yakuten, I do anticipate that to have increased threefold. 6 barriers, maybe more.
Of the size currently indicated.
Enough that we would be able to block any sort of forward movement of a troop of soldiers. Yes.
I could see an inclination to use this larger stratum as an anchor for a barricade that could arc and extend along the upper region of the plain.
This one has a thought. It appears the forces of the Empire expect to fight a defensive battle and are anticipating this engagement. Would there be a way to provoke a protruding attack on their part?
Absolutely. I would love to show our asses as far as they know. I would love to expose a false weak point.
Pawnee considers for a moment and then simply nods. What did you have in mind then?
Do you have anything, Owl? I'm still working on the particulars of it.
This one does have a proposition, though it is not grown as a military expert. Perhaps an apparently weakly defended part of the barricade can be demonstrated, with behind it more of our numbers, perhaps dissimulated in the fog.
I was thinking something similar. Actually do put up a structure, but do not make it strong. Make it look observably weak. But not so clearly as to make it obvious that we're painting a target on it.
Yozora will pipe up. Just another question just to help with this. Do we have a way to quickly excavate, like, holes in the ground?
I was thinking the same thing. If you are familiar with punji pits, I think that would be quite to our advantage. For area denial,
Punji
they
pits-
do not know of until it's too late.
Punji pits are an option. It would eat into some of the wood and supplies we have for the barricades, of course, but it is absolutely an option that we may exercise.
They would serve a very similar effect to the barricades, except barricades can be seen before it is too late.
Yeah. Do we have rune powder barrels? Because I can win this in 2 turns.
Unfortunately, we do not. All right, so let's talk some defenses above table and such.
Alrighty.
So you want to potentially set up a barricade along this area, right?
Perhaps one sturdy barricade and one. Ideally, the craftsmanship would be such that it looks like we're trying to make it strong, but it is flimsy. Give them a treat to find. Their scouts say, "Aha! Look, they have failed to secure this one wall. We will attack that."
Or make it
Okay,
half
I'm
done and look
thinking-
like it was abandoned.
For that purpose, I'm thinking what could look convincing is weakening. I don't have a finger. I have a finger. Is weakening this part? Because this looks sturdy enough, and it also could hide some troops. So barricading next to it can be justifiably flimsy.
Yeah, like we're relying so much on the rock. It's like, well, yeah, we put up the stronger wall over there, but we don't need it here. We've already got the rock. So they would see it and bite.
Like leaving a gap here that might look a little enticing.
Yeah, not necessarily a gap, but like more flimsy construction and less guarded.
Yeah, like it looks like the rock was like someone tried to just like the intern. We clearly put the intern on it, so we just had them mallet a couple of boards to the rock.
Okay.
And since this is where we would be baiting the protruding attack, then we can focus the rest of our defenses around, like on the flanks,
If we could
to intercept
excavate,
it.
because we want to try and keep. They're going to be trying. Most of them, I think we was mentioned that they're going to be at least trying to use the road here. If somewhere around here, just we could excavate here just to make it very enticing to get over where we want them to go, or a barricade in this area, some sort of obtrusion that's like it's a lot easier just to go around here. Again, like the big hole in the ground, if we can barricade, or hole in the ground and barricade, that might work. And
Maybe make it look like accidental, because I don't want to raise too many alarm bells.
Mm-hmm. So
Well-
Pawnee will point out that with barricading here, even though we're going to have some like very obvious bait here, that does leave this area and this area as fairly wide open and where they will likely try to shunt some of their forces. Even if they do take some of this bait, they're likely going to try and pincer whatever might be behind, by coming through these other gaps,
Yeah, no,
which
we
might be good spots for punji pits.
yes. That's what I'm thinking.
I like it.
Area denial that they don't know about until it's too late.
That's why, again, it's like I was suggesting, like maybe the pit here on the road or something like that, a blockade here, is that we still logically we would still need a way to get our troops onto the front line, right? Either that weak point we pointed out, or through this gap here, because
But it's the thing that I'm thinking about is that if we make them come to us, then we can dictate where the front line is, which is more advantageous because we can trap around it. If they, because they are expecting the defensive battle, that's why I want to bait them. Because if we go as is, they're probably gonna wait us out.
We could
Then again,
also use
we
that,
are in the positions of waiting them out. We have the home turf advantage. They are the invading force.
That is true.
also thanks to the information we've learned. Sorry, I didn't really mean to cut you off. Whether go ahead.
We could also use this
that.
if they don't fully take this bait. We could use this as almost like a gate to kind of flank them there as well, almost.
Pawnee will point at the road, and I would rather not excavate or damage or tear up any of the infrastructure already in place. I want to be able to use it for a counterattack for when we move our troops that direction to take that stronghold that they seem to be comfortable with at the moment. And should the worst come to worst, I don't want to leave those that we will be. And she looks over towards Felgwyn and Furu. I don't want to leave those that we leave behind in any worse shape if we don't have
Indeed.
to.
In that case, this one would recommend a blockade here, in addition to the rest, to make this passage even more appetizing.
Yes, something that shows that we clearly paid attention to their mobility via the roads, and at least made a cursory effort to block it off.
Wouldn't it make more sense to have the barricade either here or here? More likely here, between the fence and this tree here.
Wouldn't that cut off any way of us getting through comfortably because of the punji pits in the area and then having the blockade there as well?
We do want our own passage, but perhaps
Good
restrain
point.
it to practicable size.
A gate of some sort, for lack of a better term?
Do we have enough material to install a crow's nest, an archer tower or two?
Pawnee shrugs a shoulder and tilts her head in thought. It is entirely possible we could make a tower. It would cut in greatly to the supplies we have for barricades and punji pits, but it is something that could be done.
Looking at what we have on the board right now, how deeply does this reach into our resources?
I think that's all of it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Does this seem to be what we're dealing with, what we're working with?
We'd be able to set up, at least as far as I anticipate with our supplies, our bait here, a large section of barricade that would make it undesirable, perhaps, to swing this far north to get around them. But we could not completely cut this section off, unfortunately. Not without moving some things around.
I thought it was Mark drawing it, but it was Slappy. My bad.
No.
No, I've been drawing them.
Okay. What's the color coding? Whatever.
My fingy is burgundy.
Yeah, so it is. I mean that still works, cause going like all the way around is still more work than they probably want to invest into this.
Wouldn't it make it a little bit easier if we could route the upper area, the fact of that upper barricade with the rocks right around here? I know they're not exactly as big as the big one here, but still.
I do
Like
like.
put the last one this way.
Yes, I do like the idea of choking that off further. We don't want to offer them an open
Yeah.
pincer
Yeah, I was thinking it's like, okay, using
that
the
is not
bait
under our
and
control.
here, essentially, I think that because that would give us the rock.
Yeah,
Oh.
that works.
Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah, that works.
It looks pretty good.
And that would be even less of an incentive because at least on the map itself, because obviously we don't know exactly how they're attacked. Pawnee mentioned that some of them are probably coming from the north on this map. That's still
Yeah.
for the majority here. That's going to be
Yeah, and it doesn't disrupt our shape too much. As a StarCraft 2 player, I know you want you want a concave. You want a concave front.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our killing field here.
I played StarCraft, and I was thinking the same thing about the shape. I wanted that curl in.
Yep.
Jazz the
we
glass.
We could honestly even use this once they saw that it was a possible weak point. They might actually get that, and then we could have our units come at them from two sides, pincering them instead as well.
And unseen to them, whether you had that idea of units headed by individuals such as myself and yourself, coming from the south to meet with active resistance.
Exactly.
I might be inclined to plunge in a little further in order to disrupt them, penetrate them from behind.
Philomene will point at this spot on the road, and herself and Anchor Shield.
Okay.
Demonstrate that the road is well guarded to discourage them from taking it.
the question then, though, is Vilsamy and Wither, I would assume, if we're leading this, would be our frontline fighters, leading the front lines, while myself and Dove, and I assume one who leans, would be more on the back lines. Magic with range, your Dove in his espionage, and one who leans is healing. I would assume that's where they would be.
I might actually be a little more overextended than that. What would be ideal? Above table, Mog, do you already have an idea of what our Suikoden capabilities are going to be?
Indeed, I do. Let me go ahead and drag those out for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that might help a little bit on figuring out what the hell we can do.
I was wondering if mine's going to be more of assassination and demoralization or espionage.
All right, so the way this is going to work is that the groups are going to be 11 individuals on both sides. There will be different like AC tiers that you can hit to determine who you might actually be able to deal damage to on either side.
Okay.
You're going to have 3 actions you can do with your units. You'll be able to move. If you want to do a attack, you'll need to make ready as an action, and then of course attacking is an action. Now, you can switch those up, do different things with the combination. There's also going to be an option to set yourself as a defensive, like you're going to just anticipate any attacks that will give you some bonuses to your defense and your AC, and allow for different like retaliatory type strikes. And units will also be able to react. as far as the special abilities each of you will have, for Dove, you're going to have an Assassinate Leader type ability. This is going to only be usable if your unit that you're in charge of is adjacent to another unit, obviously. You must first ready an action, so ready your attack in order to even attempt it. And you can use it once per turn. And if you want to attempt it again, you will need to specifically spend another action of readying. You will also have the ability to make an insight check when making ready to potentially add extra damage on whatever attacks that you make.
Yay.
Wither, who is, this is sort of your natural environment. This is, it's very cleared, but this is still, foresty area. You will be able to grant an extra movement action so that there's like a fourth action that can be spent on movement. Similar to how you are able to use your feline agility to go a little bit faster. And similar to that, once it's used, your unit must not move on a turn before it can be used again, but they can just move normally. You will also have a very special volley attack that you can do very significant damage just yourself to multiple targets. And
now, when
you
you
will
say
be able to
multiple targets,
to
does that
multiple
mean,
targets.
Does that mean multiple units of 11?
Multiple targets within a single unit. So it will be like you are making a single direct attack with just your weapons, but you will be able to do a volley attack that will hit a determined, likely by dice and some bonuses, a determined like amount of targets you can shoot at.
Shotgun.
Yeah, basically shotguns. You will also be able to add bonus damage to any of the damage that your unit does with a reaction as aid and assists.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yozora will be able to make a ranged attack without needing to ready an action, and it will be at double the normal range. That will be only Yozora, so Yozora could potentially snipe individual soldiers from a distance.
Well, this just plays into my normal PvE playstyle.
And you can also use a reaction to grant the unit you're with advantage on saving throws against incoming magic attacks. Basically, you'll be reading the incoming magic, and you'll be able to warn everybody and have them get to cover.
Making sure I'm understanding this, so I can basically attack without readying an action by myself for twice the distance.
And you'll have a reaction that you can grant the unit you're with advantage on a saving throw versus incoming magical attacks.
Okay.
Philemy will be able to charge, which will double the unit's movement, and ignores any terrain issues, like if there's rough terrain, say you're moving through trees or over rocks, or if they put anything down on the ground that would impede movement speed in some fashion. Philemy will be able to do a charge that will give double movement speed and ignore any of those terrain issues, and will be able to deliver smite damage as long as the unit you are with is adjacent to the unit you're attacking.
I see.
And then one who leans will be able to heal and possibly return to life and keep running anyone in the unit that they are with, as well as granting temporary HP to not only the unit they are with, but a unit within range that will, rather than just acting as like temp HP to just, more HP, it will reduce by absorbing, basically reducing fully the amount of damage done, incoming damage of some sort.
So it sounds like we would almost want one who leans and Philemy together just to bolster our main defense, from what I'm hearing.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's gonna be. We're gonna have to play that by ear.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that once the actual skirmish begins, we'll be playing it by ear. There will be 11 groups of the enemy. There will be a unit for each of you to be with specifically, and then there will be 3 extra units that you will be able to command in some fashion or move around in some fashion, but you won't be with them, so your special abilities and whatnot will not be able to come from that unit, but that unit will still be able to do
Okay.
stuff.
Mm.
Now,
Okay.
Okay.
Clarification. I
mhm,
can only heal my own unit.
correct.
I can't. And for the others, I just give temp HP.
You can transfer temporarily to another unit, even if one of your
Oh.
other campaign playing individuals are with that unit already. You can transfer to it and do your heal that way, but you have to be adjacent to them, obviously, in order to do so. So it's whatever
Okay.
unit you're with, you'll be able to heal directly.
Okay. Do we also have access to our individual capabilities, like our spell list and everything?
You will, if you want to take your normal self as just, what actions you want to do, that will count as one of the actions that the unit would get, and
Well,
then you would do everything, and just the unit would basically be on standby while you're doing so.
Yeah, because I was wondering how my terrain support skills were gonna be able to affect the thing.
Absolutely, stuff like that. Any sort of entanglement, etc., fairy fire, stuff like that, you'd still be able to use. Though I will say that things like that, depending on how big they are, normally may only be 1 to 3 units. Since these are on a hex
Yeah.
grid, we're not going to be doing exact
Yeah, yeah,
translations of all that.
Because I'm mostly thinking about the fog, because I can upsize it with levels.
Yeah, the fog itself will be a really good one, especially for how big is this actually going to be and how much will it actually cover. Absolutely, you can heighten it and make it bigger and all that.
Out of character and whatnot, just because this is making me giddy. You said you said that I'd be able to cast spells at twice their normal range, right?
Yes, basically it's you using your Eldritch Blast to do that special snipe ability, and then
Yes.
your normal abilities would be at like their normal range. But I will let you know if it comes to it. Like if you're not sure if it's close enough or not, I'll let you know if it is or not, and we'll have some more time to go over range, etc., and all that, of course.
Oh. Hi,
I was just
SOS
looking
Diablo.
like,
Hi, sorry.
with my Eldritch Blast, there's no place on the map that's
soaking
safe
this all
for
up.
me.
Welcome.
That's kind of the intent, is your Eldritch Blast,
Sometimes
and
dysentery.
with all the special abilities
Funny
and,
thing about
and
that.
items you have, you are going to be able to do long-range Eldritch Blast snipe against individual targets in each of the units, for sure.
So I 100% 3 houses. So give me the controller again.
All right, so the question then is the makeup of the specific units you will be commanding. You have 10
Gonna be wearing makeup.
units. You have 10 units in whatever the group is that you will be able to use. They can be melee or ranged, which will have different types of rolls for attacks and damage, and will influence the total amount of damage they do when they do a ranged or a melee attack. If you want a heavily melee infantry type unit, we can absolutely go like 10 melee units. If you want a very specific ranged group with you, you can go 10 ranged units. You can mix and match if you'd like.
Oh, for
the
one who
more-
leans, I definitely want melee.
You want all melee? Do you want any ranged at all?
All melee. I want to get
Okay.
in there. because this is gonna be the tankiest unit.
Okay. And now, just because they are melee units does not mean they don't have ranged attacks. They just won't be as good as a ranged unit would have been.
Well, okay, can I assume that melee units would improve my smite attacks? The more melee units, the more my smite attacks would be powerful, or something like that.
Not. It wouldn't make it more powerful. It's just you'd have more melee units, and since your smite ability that you are able to do with the unit is adjacent only, it would just make it likely that you'd be doing that more often.
Yeah, it's a static bonus.
All right. So it sounds like I would want to go full melee too.
Okay. Now, the bonuses you're going to be getting from having the supplies from Tumac means that your units will have higher than average hit points. And the supplies you'll be getting from Yakutin will mean not only do we get to construct more of these barricades, the arrows will be a little bit more powerful as you're going to make more potent fletched arrows when they get to that.
Mine is kind of interesting because I almost want to do kind of a mix of both melee and ranged.
That's probably a good idea.
Absolutely.
So do I.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I think your Zora's probably the dedicated range.
Devil be mixed.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be my best option because, well, I'm guessing I don't have spellcasters to aid me on this.
Yeah. Are we getting any like a support unit, like for example the mushroom folk I prepared?
There will be some extra forces that you don't know about yet that will be added into it. That will include
Okay.
the mushroom folk that you have already grown.
Okay.
And they will absolutely be of a more support variety based on how you determine they would be grown.
Mm-hmm.
So on this, since you're saying melee and ranged, are we getting, for lack of a better term, different classes? So of melee, like we got fighter, berserker, or barbarian. Sorry, I went Fire Emblem. Sorry. Knight,
Yeah, no,
or paladins, whatnot, and then for ranged, mages, archers, druids.
Unfortunately not. For your forces, since these are mostly going to be former farmers, former mercenaries, you have, for your melee units, fighters basically, and for your range units, rangers basically.
yeah, it makes it simpler in terms of mechanics here.
That as well.
Yeah,
And
I'm just
you
double
will
checking,
also
making
be
sure I'm
going
not-
up against the same type of fighters, rangers, barbarians, so they will have at least one different type of melee unit than you, and they will have some of their, as I mentioned, each one is 11 on their side. Their leaders for each group, there will be a couple of casters amongst them.
Okay.
Okay, so I know I'm going to be on the back line, so I probably should stick with basically pure range if I can help it.
Absolutely.
Because my thing is I'm going to be sniping and, raining hell on these guys. And if they get close enough, well, begin Fairy Fire and Phantasmal Force would probably help. They
Yeah,
got
I was
barbarian.
thinking
Ooh.
I was thinking a good position for your Zora would be like around here. And if we could if we could like put those two barricades, if we could like angle them that way. and
Okay,
give
angle them
give you
out instead of
yeah.
being straight.
give you an outcropping
Straight.
to
Here? Come on.
give you like an outcropping to position yourself in to give like good access to the battlefield.
And a way out, maybe help us to get from here to here, if I'm understanding what you're saying. Because my initial plot process was to have Yozora back here, the squishy unit behind the traps we're making.
We would
And I've
Yeah,
got
no,
attempt.
line of sight across the
my
entire
plan
thing.
my plan is to give you like a still well defended position, but like outcropped further, so that you get more access to the battlefield with your range.
And with your position there behind the barricade, it makes it a very unappealing target, so that they would be tempted into the punji pits.
Granted. For these barricades, before I make any assumptions, what type of barricades are they? Are we making just walls? Are we making sharp spikes on? They're just there. It's like, come on, run into them, you morons.
They will be the sharpened spike type. Yes.
Okay, that changes my thought process here, because my thought process was they're walls. I'm going to be staying on top of a wall. Never mind.
And
yeah,
keep
or
in
behind a
mind,
wall.
you will be able to get past them. It will just take likely a little bit more of your movement, as it'll very likely be rough terrain, at least considered.
Yeah,
Though, of course, Philomene would still be able to charge through them.
Yeah, again, my thought process was these were walls and not the spikes. So that
Graffiti,
changes my thought process here.
graffiti Jersey walls, graffitied A walls.
So that
Your
means that no
melee
matter where I
units.
stand would be okay. Okay.
Your melee soldiers will be dealing a d8 plus 2 base damage. Your ranged have been upgraded from short bows to long bows because of the supplies from Yakutin. So they're going to be doing a d8 plus 3 damage with ranged attacks.
And because of the longbow, they can hit just about anywhere on the map, right?
They will have further range again because of that as well. Here's
Ooh.
how it's going to work. However many of those you have with you, you make your attack, you determine that against whatever it is you're attacking, what you can actually hit. Melee units will have different AC from range units, will have different AC from the others, et cetera, including like the leadership positions that the enemy will have with each group. Once you've determined what you hit, if anything, how many soldiers you have left. For instance, Yozora will have a fully ranged group. They're going to be doing damage like that.
Oh.
So basically, Advance War.
As you lose soldiers, that multiplier will go down. Same with the enemy. They'll be doing the same types of damage, and as they lose soldiers, those will go down. You will lose soldiers because your total maximum, your fighters were going to have, instead of the average of 40, or sorry, it was going to be 30 for the level that they were for you, 30 hit points each. They're going to go up to 33 hit points each. So if you take some damage, you'll see how much it is, and you'll be able to determine if you lost any soldiers that way. For instance, if you take 90 damage, you're likely going to lose 2 soldiers. So your next multiplier would be -2. So if you had 10, you're now at 8, and so on and so forth. The work's gonna be the same for the enemy.
Okay. Then I need to ask, based on that,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of healing am I doing?
You need more bonuses to healing? Come on now.
I don't need more bonuses. I don't need more bonuses. I need to know what they are.
When you are with your unit, if you use the specific heal that is for your unit, that is going to also be times however many soldiers you have divided in half. Considering you could probably only get to about half of them in that time.
Okay. And is it a D8?
Yeah, it's going to be based off of your cure.
Okay, gotcha. And for the temp HP?
The temp HP is going to be a flat amount that you reduce, and it is going to be based on how many the target unit still has as far as their soldiers. If they
Okay.
have full, you're basically going to negate like an entire individual's worth of damage. So 33 hit points, just gone. Reduce that damage by that. One whole person absorbed.
Kinky.
If they're at half, you're only going to be able to do half that amount, and then if they're at a quarter, only a quarter of that amount.
Gotcha.
If they're
the
out
more-
of quarters, it's game over.
So the healthier a unit is, the more worth it is to put
Yep.
temp HP on them. Okay. Keeping that in mind.
Inoculate.
Now there is a hit AC that we have to connect, correct?
So there will be different ACs. So when you make your attack roll, you'll see the result, and I will let you know then. That could hit range units, melee units, both, neither, or even all the way up to that unit's leader. And then it will be up to you where you then have decided to focus your damage. So if you want to start with like the leader, which will have more HP than the other units, obviously, they'll take however much it is that they either have left or however much it is total that you've done. If they're still alive, awesome. If not, splat they go. They only have normal units now. And what happens, this is what happens, say, if Dove decides to assassinate a leader as well. That unit will then make all attacks with absolute disadvantage. They can never not roll a disadvantage on their attacks because it will be disorganized and absolute chaos. But, you know, they'll still be able to fight, essentially. Just it'll be less effective.
It is
So
my mission.
going for leadership is not a bad idea. Though, remember the tactics you use, they will adapt to and then say, oh, well, maybe we should start worrying about the leadership on their side, and they will go for all of you instead of your soldiers.
So it's basically, do we try and disorganize them, or do we try and weaken the group as a whole?
It is my
That's
mission in
going to be-
particular
Yeah.
to demoralize.
I think both. I think
Both?
both.
Yeah,
I
not a
think,
bad idea.
I think those who have more capabilities to do so, for example, like Seldev assassinating is going to be focusing on leaders, and we're gonna mash into the group.
Quick question, just so I'm doing my math, my mental math and prepping here, right?
Mhm.
What's the range of a longbow?
Just a default longbow?
Whatever we're
fuck
using
ton.
for the for the archers.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, what's the range of the ranged units?
So
Yeah.
normally it's 150 feet.
It's a lot.
That's going to translate into 6 of these hexes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
And so with your
oh,
thing,
okay,
you get twice.
I get it.
With your
Okay.
thing, you get twice that.
So yeah, you'll have 12 hexes that you get to go.
Okay, I hadn't quite translated that because I'm like, oh, I'm looking at this like how it normally.
Yeah, this is not actually 5 feet in between each space like you would normally
Okay.
expect.
You could change that.
That's been part of my problem. That's
You-
been part of my mental calculation problem. Sorry.
You can make it do that. You can make it like 25 per. In the scene settings.
Because
That's right. Because I was
That's-
trying to figure out how to set the NPCs, the units I was going to use, as different like movement scale, and I didn't even think about actually changing the grid scale instead.
25 should do it.
yeah, because again, that's been my that has been messing up with my entire mental calculations of what I can do. Because like
Yeah.
100 I put my Eldritch Blast is now at like 240 feet, and which is from one side of the map to the other. It's like, oh, I've got
Yeah,
this
typically.
down. I'm going to be sniping people before they get into range of us. But if
Well,
it's a
the
different
point
setup,
is, like, hopefully you should still be able to do that. Yeah.
Right there.
yeah. But
Hmm.
now that I know it's not a 5x5 grid, for lack of a better term, 5 foot square,
Mhm.
that changes my mental calculations of what I can do. Okay.
Same.
And some of these numbers may change when we get to it. This is what I've been going with so far, and it's been looking good and feeling good from what I've been messing with and testing. Movement is likely going to be 3 squares, which is also what led into the the longbows are a range 5, or sorry, 6, and then Yozora would be twice that.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just if we can get it, that's like make sure I'm actually mental mathing because I don't want to say be parked on the boulder over here and oh they just came onto the map. I'm going to shoot an Eldritch Blast at them and then the archers follow through with the longbows just raining hell from above
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not actually allowed to do that.
How
Okay.
would stealth work?
Much the same as you expect. If you are trying to stealth with your whole unit, you will get to roll the check for the whole group, and they would then succeed or fail based on what you did. Basically, they're following your lead. And then perception would be the same way. The leader of the group would do the perception check to see if they can spot you, and then the rest of the unit would pass or fail based on what they rolled.
Okay.
You got the little loading symbol ready with like waiting on opponent's turn. And-
I should grab some Final Fantasy Tactics music.
Yes, 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 yes. Trisection. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please use all the Final Fantasy Tactic music. It's
Or
what it's for.
run past through the plains. Yes.
All right. By all means, I will
Yes.
make sure to grab some of that.
Or apoplectic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Apoplexy.
Man,
Yes.
good track.
Like seriously, just grab the whole OST.
You're not wrong.
I'll give it to you. I have it.
I wonder if I do. No, I don't have that one.
Trisection obviously is gonna get to me because it's trisection. It's 3-4. It's 3-4.
But yeah, I have the whole OST if you need it for when we do that encounter.
I used to use Final Fantasy Tactics back when we used Roll20.
Oh hell yeah! But so that's what it's looking like. That's how it's been developing. That's where I'm happy with what it is now. It's a very modified version of the very first time I did this fucking with like sugar cubes. God, 15 years ago.
Wow.
But it's very heavily modified off of that, and I'm hoping it works well.
Same. I'm hoping we roll them.
Yeah. And once we get the scaling down so I can do my mental math, it's like, okay, I'll be set.
Hey there, Sugar Cube.
Okay. The way I see it, the best way we can engage this is with a retreating engagement. Because we got
like start on the other side of the barricades and everything, and then pull back and hopefully funnel them into where you want them.
For the simple reason that we have 3 squares of movement and 5 squares of range on the ranged unit. So we like whittle at them from as far as is reasonable,
Make ready,
and just
attack,
pull back,
retreat.
pull back. Yeah.
You're getting it. You're getting it.
Now, would we want the whole group?
Oh no, not everybody, but
Yeah,
at least like for the beginning of the engagement, while we're out of range, just whittle them, and when the engagement proper happens, we have done some damage.
and then we just absolutely waylay on them once they hit basically the barricade.
Yeah, and that's also why I kind of would want this particular bit to move forward a bit, just to give us our retreat path.
Absolutely. You're talking one of the like the punji pits.
Yeah, like this one, for example. Move it like over there so that we can retreat like so.
Yeah. So you have this here. Okay.
I'm thinking put them between the rock and the greener tree, so that there is a safe path right behind the bungee pit, but only we know that it's like
Yeah,
you
we're
have to
we're
move.
already doing that. I think this is good.
Yeah.
We want it to catch them from the road.
Okay. Okay.
Whether they're taking the road directly or they're coming in from above as they're tempted by the weakness in our defenses.
The idea is mostly that the road would be protected by Felemy, so that they're less inclined to try and engage directly with her.
Yeah, so they leave the road and
Exactly.
come up through here.
And I will encourage you to discuss tactics where I can't see or overhear them by all means.
I trust you.
Besides that, I am hoping to be surprised so that I can naturally react and have these soldiers naturally react to that surprise.
Actually,
so by all
same.
means, you don't have to. I'm just encouraging it.
I'm also hoping to be surprised by whatever reinforcement we get and how I can play them.
In other words, he's wanting us to strategize this while he's not around.
Yeah.
Dumb question. We have a game next week, right?
We do have a session next week, yes.
Okay, that's probably when this is going to happen. Okay, so we only have a week to figure this crap out.
We'll see.
I'm gonna be at Magfest all this week, and I'm coming back on Monday. So, good luck, everyone else.
So in that case, text message for lack of a better term to the Discord, because I know I've got the Discord app on my phone for a reason.
I can create a DM group if anything, and we can start there.
I'm going to be unavailable. I'm going to be occupied.
But you'll still have the. We'll still
I'll
have you in there if anything.
I'll have the record of it, but I will most definitely not be paying attention to that during Magfest.
And we do still have some things to go through. There's still some events and some role play that will happen before the actual battle. For instance, we've got a long rest coming up that I'm sure everyone's going to have some things on their mind. We'll go through that. So it is possible we get to this next week, but not guaranteed.
Okay.
So you may have a little bit more extra time.
I'm kind of hoping
I would
we
say
don't.
maybe plan on next week being the lead up to the battle, to be honest.
That's what I'm hoping, because I'm going to be destroyed.
You hope, right?
Oh, I very much do. I've been talking to some people. Anyway.
And of course, when we get to it, you will be able to deploy your forces and set them up, including the reinforcements that haven't been revealed yet and will not be revealed until the start of the engagement. Basically, when you're deploying your forces, they will arrive. You'll be able to set yourselves up where you want to start
So where do we deploy Sidariona?
Fucking A, right? Are we
In
going?
the middle of the enemy group, I would say.
Are our detachments going to be the occupation of a single hex grid, or are we going to be controlling spreadable units? Like, are we going to be able to
How
disperse
wide is
our
gonna
units?
be our how wide is our butt gonna be?
You will be taking up single hex grids.
Okay. So we wouldn't be able to say, all right, all of my melee units come with me, ranged units stay back.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be able to do that.
All right.
Okay. And you said that basically just using, for example, the single square is basically like 25 feet or something. A hex is basically like 25 feet. So was it Yozora's Eldritch Blast with the extra range is only going to have what's range of 6 hexes?
You would be able to reach 6 hexes, yes.
Okay, that definitely Shanghai's a lot of my plans.
Oh, regular range units are 6 hexes. Your bonus would be 12.
Yeah. Yeah, your special abilities with the double range is 12 hexes.
I guess 25 is close enough, right? Yeah, 150 for longbows. And yeah, that's 6 times 25. That's 150.
Okay, so not as far as I was hoping. Phooey.
That's already very good. And from
There's a
here,
lot of
you have
coverage.
you actually have cover of a retreat route from here.
Very helpful.
You know, when the sniping thing was brought up, my hope was I was going to be able to,
Oh, just clear
snipe.
the map.
No, not clear the map. Make things easier for everybody. The less units attacking,
And
say, Filzami, the better, right?
Those
keep in mind,
Hail Mary bombs.
You can start forward, which is also what I'm gonna do. You can start forward like here, snipe, or like here, snipe the road, and moving is 3 squares. Like for them to get to you, you have largely enough time to get back behind cover.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
For instance, if this
Yeah.
individual is here, and you are here with your unit, Yuzora, you can snipe individual soldiers in this group.
Yeah,
It's like you're here. Pew pew. And you fall back 3. Repeat.
And that's not even, and that's going left and right. Going outward further, you have the advantage to where you'll be able to hit them, but they won't be able to hit you.
Yeah, that will be far beyond their reach. Though if they decide to move with every action, that's going to be 9 squares of that 12 they can cover.
Well, that puts them in range of my archers.
Mm-hmm.
And it leaves them without anything to attack with.
Yeah, that's just movement. They're just going to be eating it as they run. Not defending, not reacting.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
getting my head wrapped around this, making sure I'm understanding this. Okay. So write that note down for now, assuming that hexes aren't going to change size next.
Now, will you?
By the way, I'm appreciating that you're implementing a little bit of Pathfinder 2E into all this.
Mm-hmm. That honestly, figuring out the action economy for them was the hardest part. And then once I started doing more Pathfinder, I was like, I'll just give them 3 actions. Done.
Now, were you going to be giving us each our list
I'm
of
gonna need coffee.
our
stuff to
special actions and such? So that
yes,
we
there
can
will
Shit,
be
I'm hungry.
actual abilities that will be made that you will be able to, click on and do and display and all that.
Will we be able to see that list before the battle? So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will paste what I have from the document yet, since I haven't made the actual abilities and everything.
Yeah, well, that
Because
sounds
I
like a
made
reaction.
all of
Just
the
mean
enemy
like that.
units, but I hadn't made the allied ones yet because I needed to know the actual makeup of the units. Speaking of, Dove and Wither, what did you want as far as makeup of your units? You have 10 that you can pick from, and now you've seen the 2 different damage rolls, and you know the range of the ranged attacks. How many melee, how many ranged? Do you want all of one or a mix? What would you like to do?
Who was able to? I'm the only one able to do assassination. Yes.
You are the only one with that very specific assassination ability, yes.
But my insight, as we make ready, applies to all my units. Yes.
That will add extra damage to the actual attacks you make when your unit attacks, yes.
I think I want 7 ranged and 3 melee.
Okay. And Wither?
I'm honestly almost about to think about going 50-50, honestly, of half and half, because I'll probably there might be a point where I need to move forward and kind of push back a little bit as well. Not necessarily be the bulk of it, but being able to just kind of hold ground a little bit and then be able to fall back. Like if I'm like if I push, basically I would probably want to be able to push forward quickly, hold ground, and then be able to fall back because of my basically my feline agility ability that I've got to kind of hold off a force at least.
That reminds me. What is the name of those arrows? Of the wind, or whatever they are, gale arrows or something.
They're in the haversack, I know that.
Where's that haversack? Well, I mean, I would have them.
Windburn arrows.
Okay. How do our magic items interact with these abilities?
The actual bonuses to like hit, specifically for Dove's assassination, will be based on your actual individual bonuses to hit, and any sort of damage that you specifically do will also be influenced by the extra bonus damage that some of you may have in whatever manner, whatever case. And again, you can spend one of the actions for the unit to simply take like a full turn for yourself, which would use all your normal magic items and as it normal.
Now, with something like my hunter's mark, would I be able to mark a whole unit, or would I be able to just mark one target at a time?
That would be one target at a time. It would be part of like if you took a single turn for yourself to do things as if it were your just standard initiative. But that would remain, and you would be able to roll that extra damage on other actions since you are obviously attacking with your unit.
Would my unit benefit with extra damage with a hunter's marked target?
All of their damage would?
Not all of them, but you would be able to roll the extra die as if
Okay.
you had still applied hunter's mark damage. So it wouldn't get the multiplier, but you would add to the
Oh
amount
my-
of damage done.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
so my dudes aren't getting sneak attack.
But yes,
I'm getting sneak
you
attack.
could.
We're not gonna have 10 dudes hitting for sneak attack.
If only, right?
Shit.
Of course, that would also mean that by logic, that would mean they're the enemy's espionage faction would as well.
Now, I have another
So-
interesting question on this.
Hmm.
Turning soldiers against them after their leader's been downed. Is it possible?
It is not.
Damn.
I mean,
These are loyal and to the death type loyal troops.
well,
We will
We
see about that.
do have something that seems to enjoy to the death, that relies on to the death to turn them against each other. You have your scythe.
Oh yeah, I know.
Can you imagine though a whole unit being able to just sneak attack? That would be ability. That would be
It
what
would
we
be
call
so
getting.
gross. It's so
It
rad
would
though.
be disgusting.
It would be
that-
what we call getting Caesared.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Now, say I were to be using, like, I was in melee combat, and I was using my Scythe of Undeath.
Mhm.
Would it encompass my whole unit, so to speak?
It's you. It's gonna be you.
It would be you only, yeah.
And by the nature of the item, it would only work on one target at a time.
But that is something, and I do already have that prepared in anticipation in case. That is something that you could do is start building a unit of these undead soldiers.
Oh my god.
Could those undead be still technically in the party and in their unit and have them basically implode on themselves, so to speak?
No. What would happen is, if you do start to do this, it would generate a new unit on the field that could then grow in strength as you add more to it. But it would not immediately be able to like attack from within on a group. No, unfortunately.
So, like, if I were
Yeah.
to attack in melee and have my scythe out and kill, say, one, maybe two of them, that unit would go adjacent to them
Mhm.
and start a unit, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, that makes it more difficult for me because I mean, the reason why I'm thinking this is because how do we know that where I have the final blow on it though too on that person, because it could be we take out 3 people. How do we know that it's me doing the final blow?
When-
Doing the final blow
When
on
you
them?
you use an action to take your turn.
Mm-hmm.
You personally turn.
My physical turn. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. If you use an action to do that, absolutely. Now, if let's say you're doing a melee assault with your units, and you kill, again, we'll say 3 of them. You are part of that attack. You will get to choose one of them to then turn into one of these undead soldiers. The others were killed by your other soldiers. Since you can only do one basically per turn.
This is true. You gave me too many toys to play with, though. Between the scythe, and I mean, even my marksman bow, and my new beautiful axe that hasn't even seen anything yet.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna.
Your own specific things are gonna be like very situational. I think most of the time it's gonna be better to use unit actions.
Very true. But when I'm when I'm going as a unit, would I be designating my weapon of choice, I guess?
No, it's your unit.
Yeah, you're just part of the attack.
Like my physical, my personal attack.
If you take your turn as your personal initiative, yeah, you determine what you want to do, like a normal turn. Yeah.
That's not what I'm asking. It's
He
really hard.
was to use a specific weapon while using unit action. No, it's the unit and you are different things.
Mm-hmm. If your unit makes a melee attack, and you desire to have used your scythe as part of that assault, then you will be able to choose one. If one of them does die, you'll be able to choose one of them as being resurrected essentially by the scythe as a zombie type. But if you decide that you wanted to use like a sword or your axe instead, then no, you would not get to bring one back.
Okay,
guess your claws.
that does answer my question there. Thank you. That makes sense.
But that is going to be something that you would have to declare before you make the attack. That when you go in for this clash, you want to brandish the scythe.
Mm-hmm. Or if I want to try and go for critical hits, I would want to go with my axe, basically.
Well, you won't be making any individual attacks yourself if you make a unit attack. That will be the unit. So the stats and bonuses and all that from your weapon won't matter.
That simplifies it a lot more.
But it will be something that, as you make the melee assault, you can decide, I want to use my scythe when we do this, so that if we take anybody out, we're going to bring one back.
So cool. I know I have a lot of questions.
No, that's
But
fine.
like with my if I were to use, say, like for a ranged attack for my marksman bow, I would have to do disadvantage just for my attack then?
If you decide to do a turn of just yourself acting, then yeah, you could use the marksman bow as normal. Otherwise, you'd be making a ranged assault with your unit. And you would not be able to use any of the special abilities or effects that any of your weapons have.
Except for the scythe, apparently.
Well, this was specifically for ranged attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference there being is if you have marked one with a hunter's mark, or in the case of like Dove, if they are doing a successful like sneak attack.
Okay, I think I got my head wrapped around all of this. One last question: when it comes to the temp HP, does it last until used? Does it last a turn? Or like what's the prognosis on that? On the absorption?
Surely it's like temp HP usually is, right?
It would work similar to how temp HP normally works, and that it lasts until it's used, or the complete long rest, I guess.
yeah. If you just
there's
so there's
no
hours in the
reason
battlefield.
not to put it. There's no reason not to go put it on everybody before we start.
Basically, yeah.
Fuck yeah. I will have questions. I have no more right now.
Absolutely.
Questions will arise as they come up, and I do have specific questions that I will ask, but I don't want to do them right now.
Fair.
One little question on my hand.
What's up?
You said that I'll have smite attacks. Will these use spell slots for me, or do I have infinite of them?
You have infinite of them. Since you can only do one with the assault, and basically like one per turn.
Yeah, once per round, but I get infinite of them once per round.
Yeah, but if like say you yourself make a turn, just like normally, you yourself, anytime you hit, you could smite. It's just that as long as you're doing a assault with your unit and you hit, you can add it once per turn, basically.
But my question is more simply, when I do it as a unit, you're using smart attack as a unit, it doesn't cost me spell slot.
Correct.
All right, that's
I was gonna ask the same thing about like my different hunter's marks and stuff like that.
I got another one then. AoE spells.
Mm-hmm.
If I take my own turn and cast, for example, like a thunder wave on a whole ass enemy unit,
Mm-hmm.
what's the effect there? Like, do everybody in the unit individually take the spell in the face? Is it how's it work?
They'll have a save as a unit, and then deal damage to the unit, and then we'll see the results of that.
So yeah, so that's what I thought, because it would be like if I cast a thunder wave and apply damage to every single member of the unit, it gets a multiplier that's a little bit unfair, I think.
Mm.
Okay, just making sure that works the way I think it works.
I will be asking you about the blustering belt and biting, but it is almost 1 in the morning here, and I do have a lot of MagFest prep to do. So I will be asking you those things later.
For sure. At this point, call it.
Okay. All right.
This is.
And honestly, we probably will, from what we have talked about in previous sessions, almost each individually. This next session sounds like it's gonna be the long rest before the fight, and then we have the fight basically 3 weeks from now.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to plan. Plenty of time to chew on things.
To sleep.
Yeah, exactly. If
Sleep.
anything, we could use our off week to do our strategy.
But
because we'll have.
But next week.
There's
You're not
roleplay
listening.
next week.
roleplay next week. There's still gotta be some stuff to.
It's okay. Slappy can drink coffee.
Oh my god.
Hair of the dog would be more helpful.
Now we're talking.
I mean,
Get
maybe
some,
I can just send
get some
send you
Franzia.
some bags of caffeinated blood.
Ooh.
Oh god.
Ooh. Okay.
But yeah, that is where we'll call tonight's session. Thank you very much, everyone, for playing. I hope you had some fun.
It was
I'll
fun.
see you back here
plotting.
next week.
Okay, shit. Where are we
It
gonna
was
send
good, it
y'all?
was fun.
Let's Oh wow, he just started. Let's go with a good Jared again. We're gonna do a good Jared.
Oh hell yeah.
Because he's just starting. He's doing, like, we've been oscillating between a couple streamers doing Final Fantasy VII for the first time, OG, like first time or first adjacent. Like, I played it 20 years ago and I don't remember.
Mm.
Like, a couple of these happening at once. But the good Jared is actually not doing that this time. He is doing Rogue Squadron.
Yo.
Ooh, I love Rogue Squadron.
So let's send you his way.
For those in my chat, I'm going to be sending you all over to Cobalt Sprig, who's doing Cobalt Core, which is a FTL type game.
Ah, yes, the deck builder.
Yes.
I've seen some of it. It's actually pretty decent.
Oh, shit. What am I gonna do? Okay, so yes, come back. Fuck, man. I've got senioritis right now. I'm checked the fuck out because MagFest
Go
is
to bed.
happening like soon. Oh, I'm not
Go
sleeping.
have fun at MagFest.
I'm not sleeping now. I got too much work to do, but I definitely have senioritis. My head's not in the game. I am we'll be back. We'll be fucking back next Monday, and I won't be here until then. So no Storm Riders will be occurring this upcoming Saturday. No Level Heads on Sunday, but I'll be scraping myself off the pavement and pouring myself into this chair to try and keep my shit together. Probably on Monday. our drums. Fuck. Okay. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being part of this adventure. Today, tonight, and furthermore, we plan. So I will see you all next time. Give good Jared a ride on the meat train with Slappy Dugasm. If you don't have Slappy Dugasm, the fuck, man. I trusted you. But give him any gasm you got. Because what's a gasm between friends, after all? I'll see you next time. Stay easy. Sparkle.
Splorch.
Splurge.